Congress, friends and supporters of the United National Congress, good night. Tonight I welcome you here in the electoral district of 5th Company and in the constituency of Moruga, Tableland. Your councillor, who is presently out of the country, but I know he had done his homework and mobilized the people of 5th Company to come out here this evening. The constituency of Moruga Tableland is one of 3 constituencies that falls within the Princestown Regional Corporation. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you some of the achievement while the People's Partnership was in government under the leadership of the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, that this constituency and the other constituencies that falls within the region of Princestown benefited from. In road paving, within this region under the People's Partnership, we had 172 roads that is under the regional corporation that was paved. You all want to know how much we had since the PNM come into power? We cannot finish one single road because the allocation that we're getting, we cannot even do a complete road in a district. We had areas with recreation grounds, play parks, 21 within the region of Princestown. We had several agriculture access roads that was done under the People's Partnership government in the region of the Princestown Corporation, which a lot fall in the Moruga Tableland constituency. Today, I want to let you know, in the Princestown Corporation, we normally use, there's a heading under location 628, where we normally do these agriculture access roads. Ladies and gentlemen, this financial year, our allocation was $200,000. And you know what? The projects that we did last financial year, the contractors was not paid because they did not release the money. So when we get that $200,000 this year, we have to pay the contractors from last year. So we have not a single project to do for the farmers in the region of Princestown. But I can guarantee you, you made a mistake in the last general election and you removed the People's Partnership from Moruga Tableland. But you know what? You realized that mistake within 1 year. And in the last local election, you give the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa the mandate at the regional corporation when we take back 2 seats in the Moruga Tableland constituency. It means that we have some hopes, because yet you all ensure that the Princestown Regional Corporation remains to be a UNC-run corporation. And with the little funding that we're getting, we are still able to do a lot of work, because you know what? Being a UNC-controlled corporation, we know how to spend money. So the little money that we get in, it have barakat. We get multiplying and we are able to do much more than what you see in some corporation. We know the PNM will not admit that it will be one of the best run corporations because it's a UNC run corporation, but we will work with what we have. And you, the people of this area, have 2 very hard-working councillors, Councillor Rafi Mohammed and Councillor Joseph Lawrence, and we will work with them, and we will work with the activists, the supporters, to ensure that the Princestown Regional Corporation do its part to ensure that the Moruga Tableland constituency returns to the People's Partnership under the leadership of the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, because we know for a fact that she has the ability. She has proven herself for the last 5 years when she was Prime Minister of this country. We had seen her performance, so we don't have to wonder when she comes what she will do. She have a plan and she had demonstrated performance before, so we know what to expect when she returns to government, ladies and gentlemen. The councillors in this area is Councillor Laurent and Councillor Rafi in this Moruga area, on this end where we have this meeting tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to assure you that the Princeton Corporation will work with every single person to make sure that the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa return as the Prime Minister of this country. Corporation, the MP for Princeton, Mr. Barry Padarat, the MP for Naparima, Mr. Rodney Charles, who is working together with the councillors who are advising us and who are making sure that this corporation be a corporation where you will see no corruption, you will see a corporation of delivery, a corporation of togetherness, a corporation of unity, because we will make the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa proud. Our only hope is to see the United National Congress returns to government. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a task ahead. We have to work together. And the only way we can do that, just how we support our leader, we have to support our members of parliament, we have to support the chairman of the regional corporation, and together we aspire, together we achieve, we will return to government. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Moruga, Tableland, you could do better than that. All that the chairman said is the truth. There no funding for projects. Budgets is suffering. It's through the direction of this chairman, who has been a sitting councillor for 15 years. We are able to survive in this economic time. I could tell you as a sitting councillor, when my budget is called and I cannot meet the demands, how hard it is. And I'm about to bring a next councillor who will attest that surviving as a young councillor in this time, it is extremely hard. Sometimes they call and we don't know how to tell them that, hey, we are getting releases, we can't do anything. But we have the drive and the will, because we represent a party that want to serve, that we know what service to the people, because our leader taught us a mantra, serve the people, serve the people. So we don't know how to say no, but we are driven to deliver. And I'm bringing on your councillor, young like myself, Councillor Joseph Laurent. Let me hear. Princeton Central Lions Club. He's studying events management and he's a whole of the HSC degree. Hence, he's always saved in all his projects.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. The Honorable Political Leader of the United National Congress, Opposition Leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, SC, Members of Parliament, Senators, NATEX members, Chairman of the Princeton Regional Corporation, Chairman Gori Riptoing, Members of Council of the Princeton Regional Corporation, Members of the media, my UNC family. Moruga, Tableland, good evening. 2.5 years of this PLM government, and what? What next, ladies and gentlemen? What next? Unemployment. On my walks through my electoral district, all I see is potential without opportunities. My MP, Mr. MP, where are the jobs that were promised? What are the hundreds of CPEP workers who are now jobless and whose families have children to mind? What about the Moruga port, Mr. MB? What is coming since Trinidad and Tobago became a republic? The truth surely that the promise never materialized. Now, they're telling fishermen that they are changed in the original design. Hopefully, we really get something going. Flood. 4 floods. What next? Could you imagine 4 floods and nothing done to our major water courses? 4 floods and this wicked PNM playing pick-a-pan to assist affected families who lost thousands of dollars worth of household items. 4 floods and water not flowing just like the ferry to Tobago. My brothers and sisters, water. Last year I stood on this very said stage And there was the same Water Issues Councillor Michelle Benjamin stated, considering the issues that we are arising at. Imagine 2018 and we still have to beg for a steady water supply. Tonight I ask you water suppliers and even the customers as well to make sure and ask for your rebate, because you know what, it makes no sense paying for a service that you never received. 2018 and poured water is still better than Wassa water. Could you imagine? Because when it flows, it looks like cocoa tea without milk. Especially in these trying times. 2018 and my electors are challenged with no truck-bound water due to no releases of funds by this wicked PNM government to this Princeton Regional Corporation, ladies and gentlemen. Projects, 2.5 years of what? What have you done for the constituency of Moruga Tableland, Mr. MP? What have you done with the exception of fixing the Moruga Road, creating additional potholes? Closing the NEC program at the Moruga Secondary School and promising the people of John Joe in Marak water connection. Ladies and gentlemen, only promises never materialize. On another note, Mr. MP, the play park in Bastien Recreation Grounds which you are claiming, take that. The bleacher in Platinic, take that. The upgrade to the Moruga sub-office and the Moruga beach facility, take that. The box drain in Orput South Chase, Midland Chase, Nanan Chase, Harara Chase in Pinal Rock Road, Ramkalia Branch Chase, Strand Estate Road in Ladul, Blachacha Chase, Edward Chase, Larafin, Lansmitter. You can take that, Mr. MP. Lighting repairs, take that. You know why? Mr. Francis, you're claiming projects that you never had any input in. A true example of a PNM failure. According to one processor in Pinal Road, L for Lovell, L for Lie. Remember, Mr. MP, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. The ground is shaking and your expiration date is soon. Question, what have you done for Moruga, Mr. MP? Today I call on you just like your Prime Minister, Mr. MP, to meet me on the pavement where performance beat photo. Ladies and gentlemen, together we are moving forward with our political leader and the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamla Prasad. Because as you can see, she has the experience, she has the political savvy, she has the vision and the plan to move this country forward. The UNC is the only alternative to this wicked PNM government. I am UNC and I'm proud. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
That is performance, ladies and gentlemen. I would just like to recognize the members of Parliament that are with us this evening. MP Rodney Charles, Senator Khadija Amin, Senator Tahaka Obika, and MP Bahari Padarat. Ladies and gentlemen.
thanks to the people of the constituency of Moruga Tableland who have supported me during our best years, 2020-2015. I want to extend my personal thanks to those people who would have embraced my good self and the political leader and came into this party and are still in the party. Tonight, you would have heard two of those young people. The young man who just left, Joseph Lauren, that is one of the persons who came, and him I'm proud. And Michelle, put your hands together for those two young people. My brothers and sisters, those who are walking around now will realize Moruga Tableland constituency is not an easy constituency. It is a microcosm of Trinidad and Tobago. The diversity is there in religion, in ethnicity, in everything. And we have to thank our political leader, Kamala Prasad Bisasa, for that vision of keeping people together. And she is going to do it. And Moruga Tableland will be back in government. My brothers and sisters, our political leader and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, she has what you call the Midas touch. Whatever she touches turns into something valuable. But the opposite of the Midas touch, they just spell the word otherwise. They say the sudden touch. Whatever that person touches is a blight, and that is the present. I don't know. But there is also, and those reporters you can research it, there is also the Murphy's touch. They say, you know, with Murphy's law, what is to go wrong will go wrong. But the Murphy's touch, whatever you touch turns into gobar. And I'm wondering, but you know, today I'm not going to talk about what we did when we were in government. I mean, we were paradise. And people just believe they would have gotten more on the other side. Today they come and they say, oh God, Brother Koto, we're sorry. Tell Auntie Kamala, we want she back. We want back Kamala. We want back Kamala. My brothers and sisters, sometimes I wonder, I was sharing with young Senator Obika, someday when we went up to George Village. I say, know something about this PNM. I wonder if Trinidadians and their supporters are under what they call PSS, the political Stockholm syndrome. They beat you, they brutalize you, and then when your tongue is coming out of your head, they put a little drop of water in it and they say, oh, my savior. And that is exactly what they are doing to us in Trinidad and Tobago right now. We left a treasury full of money. They suppress it. But listen, Finance Chairman, oh, the end of this year is going to be better. So they're starving you until you're ready to die, and then they're going to let go the money and they'll say, you know, the man around the country, God, you know, we can come down and they thief the money, and they see, we get austerity measures. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. But my brothers and sisters, you know, today I witnessed the greatest piece of political absolution. The greatest piece of political absolution. This man put on his clothes, his priest clothes, and he sanitized everybody. He promote this one here, promote the other one here. But my brothers and sisters, great is the UNC, great is Kamala Prasad Bisasa, and we are going to
Vice Chair talk about the Midas touch, but in the PNM it has something called the Darrell touch. In the United National Congress, we love our women, we embrace our women, we protect our women, we do not harass our women. Now, ladies and gentlemen, The next person I'm going to bring on the platform, he is no stranger to the region. He is well known in Trinidad and Tobago. He is well known in the Caribbean region. He's a retired county superintendent from the local government ministry. He's currently the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board. He's a director on the West Indies Cricket Board, and he is now an alderman in the Princestown Regional Corporation. Give it up for Alderman Azim Basharat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. Political leader of the United National Congress, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, members of NATEC, senators, members of parliament, councillors, coordinators of the Moruga Tableland constituency, Mr. Randy Ramadan Singh and Ms. Dr. Curleen Suku. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you all to all UNC faithful to the beautiful constituency of Moruga Tableland. It is so good to see so many of you here this evening as the United National Congress continues to mobilize for its return to governance in Trinidad and Tobago. Special greetings go out to our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, who is on our way here, I'm sure, and we all look forward to another inspirational address from the best Prime Minister this nation has ever seen. The team tonight, ladies and gentlemen, of this meeting is marrying fresh ideas with solid experience. And those two components are a winning combination which is designed to take the nation out of the status of a failed state which Trinidad and Tobago has become in the space of just 30 months. Brothers and sisters, natural talent abounds throughout the length and breadth of the land in all sports, even right here in Moruga Tableland, where participation and enthusiasm is high for football, cricket, basketball and netball. And it is a well-known fact that rural districts like Moruga Tableland have historically over the years produced scores of sportsmen and sportswomen who have gone on to excel at the regional and international stage. So it is important for grassroots programs to be introduced with an emphasis on the community, which leads to a strengthening of communal bonds, creates profitable economic activity, ignites passion and pride, and offers an alternative lifestyle to our young people away from the love of undesirable activities. It was a platform that was created by the UNC administration under Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, who recognized the role sport played in the development of the nation. And every effort was made to provide a platform for the talented young people to reach their fullest potential. The visionary leadership of the political leader, a keen tennis player herself, I understand, established a clear link between the aspirations of the youth and economic development in the short and long term. This formed an important element in the move to diversify the economy and set the stage for an alternate source of revenue for the country through sports tourism. So immediately after coming into office, the UNC launched plans to create world-class facilities to nurture talent at home, as well as to act as a magnet for overseas sports teams and individuals to train right here in Trinidad and Tobago. The investment in the construction of the tennis center in Tacarigua, the indoor cycling velodrome and the adjacent aquatic center in Vancouver made great business sense and fulfill a need long denied by the previous political administration. But the creation of world-class facilities, which has only recently been grudgingly opened amid great fanfare, did not represent all that was done. Elite athletes, ladies and gentlemen, representing Trinidad and Tobago were recognized and provided with funds to pursue training and competition around the world, while support through sponsorship and indigenous programs enabled grassroots administrators to continue the great work of identifying and cultivating stars of the future in catchment areas long ignored. Fast forward to what has been happening since the present regime came into office. We have had the shameful spectacle where an Olympic medalist has been forced to take the sports minister to task for what can only be described as disrespect in ignoring legitimate pleas for assistance. There was also the regrettable episode where poor advice was given to the sports minister, ensuring that Trinidad and Tobago missed out on the golden opportunity to host World Cup cricket in Trinidad and Tobago later this year. But I give you the assurance tonight that when the United National Congress is returned to office not too long from now, a new day will dawn for our sport industry. Our top athletes will no longer have to air their grievances and in public or complain of victimization. We look forward to a brighter day for everyone in the nation when justice, equity and fairness will once again be introduced into the national discourse by the United National Congress under the caring, charismatic and compassionate leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad-Bisesa. Thank you very much.
You're getting a little too quiet. Moruga Tableland cannot be a quiet crowd because we feel the neglect of this PNM government. So I want you to express it. When they stand up here and we tell you what they're doing, or they shout and say we want them out. Don't just sit down. Moruga Tableland can be quiet because we're feeling it. Are they feeling it? How many youths is having this crowd are jobless? Are they not feeling it? Who have water in the tank over? They're not feeling it? The teacher sending, are they not feeling it? But we have to get them out. So we have to show them this going live. We have to show them we don't want them. So make noise. This is a massive crowd. Let them know that we don't want them. Tonight, I just want to acknowledge we have Dr. Daphne Phillip here with us. We have Dr. Rai Ramveer, who is a member of NATEX. We have Chairman Henry Awong, and we have Senator Hayes that joined us shortly. So Moruga Tableland, welcome these powerhouses. Introduce the next speaker. I had the opportunity to work with Ms. Dr. Carleen Suku. Her list of credentials is as long as from Rochard Douglas to Kanhai. I'm telling you, a well-qualified person, our leader only chooses the best to serve. Dr. Carleen Suku is a former advisor in the Ministry of Gender, Youth and Child Development, as well as advisor in the Ministry of National Diversity and Social Integration. Both ministries were formed under the UNC government, something the PNM never did. Dr. Carleen Suku is appointed an ambassador in the United Nations at large. She's also a member of NATEX, and she is working here with us in Moruga Tableland to get this seat back to the United National Congress, where we will return Kamla Prasad-Bisesa as the next leader.
The opposition and political leader, the Honorable Kamla Prasad-Bisesa, and all the members of the UNC family and friends. Let me hear you. Thank you, members of the constituency of Moruga Tableland, for being here in your numbers tonight. Are you UNC and proud? Of the largest constituency by way of its geographical space, 684 square miles. I acknowledge members from the community of Blood Road, from Tableland, from Gulchan Trace, Laloon, Sunjan, Brashome, St. Mary's Village, and all of Moruga. Come on, somebody! Let the nation hear your voices! I bring greetings from the National Executive of the United National Congress. My name is Dr. Carleen Suku, and I'm presently the research officer. I have worked and have Moruga Tableland and have worked with the former MP Clifton Dikoto as a technical advisor in 2012. I have worked with most of you over the years and it has been a pleasure. I've been appointed as one of the coordinators to work with and for the people of Moruga Tableland. Before I proceed further, I want to thank the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, and could we say the next Prime Minister, our political leader, Kamala Prasad-Visesa, for this wonderful opportunity. In your presence here, in your numbers, is a testimony of the stewardship of the wonderful and hardworking councillors and aldermen and activists. Can we give it up for them? I've had the pleasure to work with the United National Congress, and I can clearly say that we are serving well. Could somebody lift their hands? Come on. Let me ask you a question. Has the PNM failed you miserably in Moruga Tableland? Has the UNC been good to you? The UNC is the alternative government that is ready to rescue the country at a moment's notice. Could I hear shouting for victory for the United National Congress? The political leader, Kamala Prasad-Visesa, has the experience, the political savvy, the vision and the plan to make this country a knowledge-driven, a computer-literate and a socially empowered, prosperous nation. Moruga Tableland can bring together the love that this country needs, the love that exists between our African and Indian brothers and sisters of all colors of the rainbow. The UNC is the alternative government and stands ready to rescue the country at a moment's notice and embraces all red, all yellow, all black, all white. The people are precious in their sight. My brothers and sisters, tonight is the beginning of a brand new awakening in this rural community that was prone to constant flooding. Under the People's Partnership and their remedial works, this area of the constituency can boast no more at that time of flooding after the paving and construction of drains between 2010 and 2015. Do not listen. Do not listen. Do not listen to negative voices and persons with very shallow memories. They will say the UNC has done nothing for us. I work with the former MP Clifton Dikoto as his technical advisor, and I know that one Kanaiso Road resident benefited from the progress of the PP government. But frustration and being angry because enough was not done caused a stirring up in what we call couture in this community. Could somebody lift their hands and say no more couture? My brothers and sisters, enough said about that. Let us not be Nimakaram. The constituency was one of the neglected constituencies under the former administration. Years of neglect, deterioration, when Moruga Tableland was aptly called the landslip capital. There were approximately 253 landslips. There was a baby landslip. There was a mother landslip. There was a father landslip. There was an uncle landslip. There was a family of landslips. The former PNM administration allowed the whole family to go through. But let me take you back a little bit to memory lane under the People's Partnership. Those slippages I say to you that the political leader, Kamla Prasad-Bisesa, has the experience, has the political savvy, has the vision, has the plan to make this country a knowledge-driven first world nation. My brothers and sisters, the UNC didn't only build schools, stabilize landslips. The UNC built centers in Marak, Hindustan, refurbished Laloon. The UNC built the Moruga police what? What they built? And when I give you the signal, I want you to say lights. Everybody say lights. I say lights. Out of 18 grounds in 2010, 9 was illuminated. So here you're going now. Marak have, Laloon have, Pinarok have, Gomez Trace have, Mandingo have, Sekroy have, Punjal have, Bakawe have. My brothers and sisters, in the constituency, we had, according to NAMDEFCO statistics, we have 205 qualified farms. I want only to tell the country, who is the pineapple capital of Trinidad and Tobago? Who is the food basket of this nation? And watchmen, as your coordinator tonight, I bring a messenger of hope to you. I say to you, you have been bitten by the PNM once, you have been bitten twice, you have been loved by the UNC and treated as a community. Today I say we will win. Say we will win. Say we will win. Say we will win. Say we will win.
That is the power, that is the performance, and that is the intelligence that we have in the United National Congress. Are you fed up of Faris Al-Rawi? Are you fed up of Stuart Young? Are you fed up of Darrell Smith? Are you fed up of Keith Rowley? So are we ready for Kamla Prasad-Bisesa to be Prime Minister again? She chooses the brightest of the bright. And the next person that I'm going to bring on the microphone, if I have to read out his CV for you, it will take all night. So I'd just like to highlight a few of his accolades. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Physics. He has a Master's of Philosophy in Medical Physics and Bioengineering. He's a PhD student in Energy Studies. He's an international consultant on renewable energy. He was the former head of physics and worked for the Queen of England. But now he is here to work for our Queen, Kamla Prasad-Bisesa. Give it up for Randy Ramanasinghe.
Good afternoon all, good evening. Honourable Political Leader of the United National Congress, Kamla Prasad-Bisesa, SC MP, UNC family and friends. Good evening, Moruga Tableland. I am so happy to see you here in your numbers. All this past week from walkabouts in Cats Hill, breaking the borders of the glorious pineapple fields of George Village, across into Tableland, down into Lengua, traversing Indian Walk, down into the lush hills and valleys of Bharatpur, moving south into the Penal Rock Road, and continuing through the lush forests and plains of Moruga, stopping at Laloon, La Ruffin and Marak. This sun has shone brilliantly as the soldiers of the UNC have been on the ground. The sun shone so brilliantly, it was almost as if heralding a new beginning for this area. It was so bright that we almost forgot the dark days after September 2015, when the lights were dimmed on us, when panic and anguish, hurt and despair ran through this beautiful and bountiful area. You see, we knew then, as we are sure now, that the beginning of the end had come to pass. The bitter harvest had begun. We knew then that crime would start to escalate, that children may very well go hungry, jobs would be lost, aid would be limited, and essential health and education deprived from us. But what we know is that our leaders did not abandon us. We know that our Member of Parliament, Clifton Dekoto, stood with us, stood strong with us, and was there for us. We also knew that our political leader, Kamla Prasad-Bisasa, stood by us, guiding, counseling, leading, and continuing the fight. And our hope was renewed again when the local government election came around in 2016. Despite this area being punished by a lack of resources, despite the agents of negativity and derision, we came together. We beat the PNM in the Moruga district. We beat them in Fifth Company, Councillor Rafi Mohammed, and we beat them in Hindustan St. Mary's with Councillor Michelle Benjamin, taking the seats and claiming the Princeton Regional Corporation under the excellent Chairman Gauri Rupnarayan here. That is the strength of our people, and that is the strength of Moruga Tableland. You see, our leader has said to us, go out there, meet the people, speak to the people, and serve the people. And only one leader in our land could have held 3 portfolios at the same time. First female Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Chairman of the CARICOM, and Chairman of the Commonwealth, all at the same time. And that is the leadership that we have in the United National Congress. It is undeniable that our leaders' stellar performances in Parliament have recently been nothing short of outstanding. In Parliament recently, her budget response, tens of thousands of people were locked on and she demolished the PNM. Braving floods herself, she went to every single area affected, personally delivering food and water, clothes to the vulnerable, and chose the people, not the morning shows. You see, for her, a child to go to bed hungry and thirsty on a wet bed or floor was unacceptable. She activated a disaster response plan, and every single councillor, MP, senator, activist was on the ground in Barrackpore, was on the ground in Pinal-David, in Siparia, in the east, in the north, where there was flood. She went there with the people. When we say united, when we say national, and when we say Congress, the only person in this country who has the vision, the intelligence, and the qualifications to lead this country back to where we before is the Honourable Kamla Prasad-Bisasa. Soldiers of the United National Congress, tonight the political leader is sounding the battle call. She will lead the troops once more for a brighter tomorrow. And what we do now, we arm you with the knowledge, with the years of experience and the bright sparks of new ideas. We arm you with the tools of compassion, integrity and generosity. We arm you with the promise that with hope and unity that we will once more make Moruga Tableland the brightest beacon on the southern seaboard, with the coastal breezes funneling the flames of our mobilization on the ground, and the hunger and hurt of this PNM government lighting a fire in our bellies for a common cause to ensure a better tomorrow for all of us, with our leader, the Honourable Kamla Prasad-Bisasa. As we charge forward together, with our leader at the helm, with our generals squaring the lines, and with our soldiers prepared to face with the task of reclaiming our seat and our country, we will recall Blake's Jerusalem. Bring me my bow of burning gold. Bring me my arrows of desire. Bring me my spear. Oh, clouds unfold. Bring me my chariot of fire. I will not cease from mental fight, nor shall my sword sleep in hold my hand till we have built the UNC stronghold in Moruga Tableland, free and pleasant land. Thank you.
Moruga, I told you, we have foot soldiers on the ground committed. People committed to returning this seat to the United National Congress under the leadership of Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Let me hear it for these people that you have just heard. These soldiers that have committed to fighting for this seat, along with the executive of Moruga Tableland. We are here working for you tirelessly, sleeplessly, night after night. We are on the road because we know that it's only under the UNC that we will see a brighter day. I have the honor of introducing another such strong foot soldier. This foot soldier is an MP that cares, an MP that shows up when you call, an MP that fights in Parliament day after day, raising concerns even for Moruga Tableland, taking it to Lovell. That man that loved the song of his name. I remember Lovell. But Lovell, I know that we are what that no more. That Lovell, as Comfort always say, that L stand for liar. We know that, and MP Charles tells him that on a daily basis, constantly in Parliament. Let me hear you for this brilliant man. No, I'm not going to read out his CV because we will be here all night. Let me hear it for MP Rodney Charles.
Our esteemed political leader who will take us to victory come 2020. Constituents of Moruga Tableland, Naparima I must call them, and Princess Stuff. All UNC supporters gathered under the clear crystal skies of Moruga in Trinidad and Tobago. Today, the people of Moruga Tableland, and indeed all of Trinidad and Tobago, are witnessing the worst government ever we have had in the history of our country. This Keith Rowley-led version of the PNM, because this is not a real PNM, this Keith Rowley version of the PNM can boast of nothing but pain and more pain. They are, amen lady, they are failures. Let me repeat that. They are failures. Failures in health. Failures in bringing down the unemployment rate. Failures in diversifying our economy. Failures in providing inter-island sea transport. Failures in fixing landslides in Moruga Tableland and in Naparima. Failure to hold ministers accountable for major indiscretions, perhaps the worst we have experienced in our country. Failure to provide a compelling action plan to take our country forward. Failure, brothers and sisters, to keep the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago safe. Our country is experiencing unimaginable levels of criminality. And this government continues to ignore the cries of the citizens. This government allows criminals free rein to abuse our country and the hard-working, law-abiding citizens. Imagine our murder rate to date is 142 and climbing. They have continued to fail in protecting our national image abroad, under the guidance of our Prime Minister's friend. And who is his friend? The Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, who is unaware about decisions taking place in his own ministry. He is like General Sergeant Schultz in a TV program long ago. Sergeant Schultz used to hear nothing, he used to see nothing, He used to do nothing. Minister Moses is in charge, and we embarrass ourselves at the OAS on the Dominicans' request for a waiver of fees. And all Moses could say was, I wasn't there. Nobody told me. I don't know. And today, ladies and gentlemen, Rowley shuffled the pack of jokers and kept his good friend, Dennis Moses. Everybody goes, but his partner, Moses, stays. Clearly, Rowley has not heard about the principle of collective responsibility or ministerial responsibility, which under the Westminster system we inherited means that a minister is responsible for everything that goes on in his ministry. The buck stops with Moses and Keith Rowley, and for Keith Rowley to keep him shows clearly that Rowley only understands pavement diplomacy and not good parliamentary practice. Today also, Moses got up in Parliament and said that after the Dominican crisis, he spoke on the phone to his colleague in Dominica and apologized. Well, poor Moses. He does not know that at this level, what is required is a diplomatic note, not a phone call. For heaven's sake, we're not talking about a parlor or a roti shop. We're talking about the government of the people, the proud people of Trinidad and Tobago and of Moruga, Tableland. But Rowley is demeaning the office. He did not see it fit to attend 3 annual General Assemblies of the United Nations. 2015, 2016, 2017. No doubt he will miss it this year. Unlike our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who had the vision and the intelligence and the strength to interact frontally with her peers globally. Unlike Rowley, our leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, was globally respected in the international arena. I saw her in action at the UN, and as a little boy from South Trinidad, I was proud of my Prime Minister, Kamla Persad-Bissessar. And Dr. Rowley has the goal to tell me that I cannot speak to Marine Le Pen while I was at the UN. This not too bright Keith Rowley can never understand global diplomacy. You see, he's a geologist. He studied the ages of rocks. He needs to abide by the rock of ages. He is a practitioner of pavement diplomacy. So President Trump is carded to speak with President of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. According to the Rowley doctrine of diplomacy, they should never speak because you only speak to people you like. So in the company of 17 other UN ambassadors, I challenge Ms. Le Pen on her views on Islamophobia, on immigration, on ultranationalism, sitting in New York and talking to the lady and trying to put sense in her head. I serve my country and my people by so doing. And I will do it again, Rowley or no Rowley. Important global organizations such as the EU, that is the European Union, and the OECD have placed Trinidad on their blacklist based on reviews done after September 15. Look at it, we on blacklist all over the world. They don't want to deal with us. And Faris Alwari gets up in Parliament and says, you know why you're on the blacklist? Because the PP government did nothing. Well, that is not true. That is not true, because the period of review was in 2016 and 2017. And who was in power? Dr. Rowley. Who was not in power? Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Now, the EU wrote us last year, and the EU told us to give them a letter of commitment that we will, a high-level commitment that we will abide by their concerns. You know that we did not write the letter. They wrote us, they wrote Grenada, they wrote Barbados, they wrote Trinidad and Tobago, and they say, give us a high-level commitment that you will abide by or you'll take steps to deal with our concerns. Barbados wrote, Grenada wrote, but clueless Faris Al-Rari did not, and we remain today blacklisted by the EU and the OECD. The only areas of competence by this Keith Rowley administration are old talk, long-winded, nice-sounding sales talk, and blaming the BB government. Not hard work and performance. I will say it again. Under the PNM, the only growth industries are funeral homes and crime, criminals. The only growth industries are funeral homes and crime. So what are the priorities of clueless Moses? Why is this strategic direction? Where is this strategic direction that he was supposed to give to the ministry? Why, for example, set up an embassy in the United Arab Emirates when Guyana is on our doorsteps, on the verge of an oil boom that has never been witnessed in CARICOM or countries in this region, 500,000 barrels a day, and we do not have an embassy in Guyana? Why close down our embassy in Uganda, close to Ethiopia, Jah Rastafari, seat of the African Union, representing 54 countries? What policies are in place to deal with the reputed 40,000 Venezuelan refugees in our country? What is the status of the immigration detention center where you're housing these people? What policies are in place to combat human trafficking of Venezuelans in Trinidad? We have Venezuelans being treated like dogs under this government and being made to stay in inhuman conditions. We, all of us, will pay a price long after Rowley demits office for the inhuman treatment meted out to Venezuelans. But what is the purpose of our Coast Guard in Cedros? If you visit Cedros, you see a base. Is that base for decoration? We have our fishermen and offshore workers fearful for their lives. And the only advice the Coast Guard could do is we can't do nothing. There should be a national security priority. How, for heaven's sake, can Venezuelan naval vessels enter our waters and our Coast Guard so frightened that they know we're around? Could we ever enter Venezuelan waters, even if we're chasing Venezuelans? So where's the Coast Guard? What are they doing? So Moses will lead us to the promised land of global excellence. The Prime Minister's defense: protect Moses, blame staff, attack me, come up with some unsigned, unconfirmed minutes. Does the Prime Minister not know that unsigned note written by someone is not evidence? There are no policies in place to make sense of what is taking place in our country. And here this quote in the Bible. It is Exodus 6:12. And I'm reading, but Lord, Moses objected. My own people won't listen to me. How can I expect Pharaoh to listen? I am such a clumsy speaker. That is what he said. Ladies and gentlemen, let us pause. We are in the presence of greatness. We are in the presence of our leader. We are in the presence of this is coming to us. First female Prime Minister, first female Attorney General, the first representative of South Trinidad to lead us to greatness. A leader who believed in giving us laptops and making us computer literate. She, ladies and gentlemen, will rescue us from the trials and tribulations of this rowdy-led administration. So let's enjoy our leader. Our great leader, we cannot wait for you to come back into power to rescue us from trials and tribulations. But I've given you a quote from the Bible, and this is Moses talking. He said, "But Lord," Moses objected, "my own people wouldn't listen to me anymore. How can I expect Pharaoh to listen? I am such a clumsy speaker." Does that not sound like the Moses we know? So, ladies and gentlemen, the question of ministerial responsibility, I spoke about it, but in that concept, it is a constitutional convention that cabinet ministers bear ultimate responsibility for the action of their ministries. Even if a minister is unaware of misdeeds or behavior, he or she is responsible and answerable for every action in his ministry. The traditional example, according to authorities in the UK, of official ministerial responsibility was the Rochard affair in 1954, when the Minister of Agriculture resigned despite the fact that all mistakes were made by civil servants without his knowledge. Clearly, this is not the case under this government. So tonight, I, Rodney Charles, MP for Naparima, want to say to Dr. Rowley, I want to be your friend. And ladies and gentlemen, I say this because once you are his friend like Moses, you can do no wrong. Be it scandals, be it missteps or global embarrassment, you will be well protected. But the UNC is ready to liberate Trinidad and Tobago from the grip of this galloping dictatorship. And Mrs. Robinson Regis had the effrontery to tell us about some letter, and are we going to respond to that? We will respond to Camille when she tells us about how she used her credit card to purchase jewelry for US $6,000, purchase lighting equipment, etc. We will respond when she tells us on the 5th of June is this a case of data mining or invasion of privacy? So they keep talking about Cambridge Analytica. The only thing I know about Cambridge is I have 9 O-levels and 6 distinctions. But my friends, the future is not gloomy as it might seem. Under our esteemed political leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Trinidad and Tobago will be restored to the thriving paradise that it once was. Come 2020, we will be able to walk the streets and sit in our front porches without fear. She has the backbone, the drive, and I'm speaking metaphorically, the testicular fortitude to follow through on her promises to Trinidad and Tobago and change us from these bitter days towards a first world country. She has seen the promised land. In her house there are many mansions, and she's on the verge of preparing us for that 21st century digital economy. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot wait. Let us put our hands together and acknowledge the greatness that is in our presence tonight. I thank you.
Moruga Tableland, we have in our presence the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, the greatest Prime Minister that has ever served our Republic. And there's another great woman sitting next to her. She's a powerhouse. She's a professional woman. But most of all, she remains humble. She has a common touch, and she's a plain talker. She don't put water in she mouth to say nothing. She has vast experience in housing. She has chaired the UDCOT, and she was the CEO of the HDC. Not like this new OJT Darrell Smith minister that they brought in. She is ready to move our UNC party forward. Please welcome Deputy Political Leader Jerlene John.
Honorable Political Leader, other members of the head table, I want to congratulate the UNC Moruga Tableland team for such a wonderful effort. Thank you all so much. Not too far from here, in the neighboring community of Mearo, on March 19, Stacy and Campbell from Radic Village, Mearo was killed by a neighbor. On a fateful Monday night like this, bludgeoned to death, allegedly by a man called Maddox, whom she had known all her life. Stacy was 8 months pregnant, so the baby in her belly also perished on that night. We heard about Abigail Chapman, Olivia Chapman 15, Michaela Mason 14, and their landlord, all killed by some obsessed male relative. Lakshmi Prasad, 42, of Ramchmood Avenue, Chitland, was strangled by a 25-year-old man she knew. 25-year-old Arissa Davis, a young woman, was also strangled and beaten by a close male relative. She was a victim of domestic abuse. Her elderly mother had been alerted to her daughter's tragic end by the 2 children coming to her and running and saying, "Mommy, we can't wait, Mommy." These names I've just called a few because it represents the endless stream of blood of our mothers, daughters, and sisters. Young women gone too soon, falling prey to domestic abuse, sexual abuse, violence, harassment, sexual harassment, all strands of the same ugliness. What has happened to so fundamentally change our society, where women are being preyed upon in this vicious, cruel manner? The vulnerable requires and deserve the protection of the state. They deserve the protection of the government. They deserve the protection of the Prime Minister. On Monday, February 6th, the Prime Minister, while speaking about domestic-related murder, said, if a crime is to be committed, invariably the police may not know it is to be committed. And more often than not, the police will only know after the crime has been committed, he said. He said the ill-fated domestic cases usually end with a woman in a strained or difficult relationship, forcing the state to intervene to put a restraining order against the partner. Says Dr. Rowley, you call on the Prime Minister to do something about crime. I'm not in your bedroom. I am not in your personal choice of men. You see, when a woman decides if loving a man is wrong and she doesn't want to be right, a caring state, a compassionate state, a prime minister as the one we had in Kamla Prasad Visesa, will ensure that the mechanisms are in place to treat with the fallout, not to criticize, not to name and shame the victim. You see, friends, when Miss Carrie Morrow, a single mother, turned up in a government office to carry out to the best of her ability the job for which she had been hired, she is entitled to a safe and secure workplace. It is not discretionary. It is her right to safety. It is the state's duty to protect and to secure her. She should be assured of that. So when I read the yesterday's Sunday Express, and I forgot the name, I found it was astounding, if it is true, that a government minister could feel so entitled, so emboldened, to the point where it was common knowledge, and the research officer of his constituency could say, when she saw Miss Morrow so traumatized, she couldn't get all the words. She said, what happened? The boss striking him? And when Miss Morrow in her distress asked, am I doing anything wrong to attract? And ladies, you know how that is. You wonder, is it me? You understand? The research officer said, you are not the first, and you will not be the last. You see, when mothers trying to feed their families, you believe they have time for any man licking their lips and flexing and saying, whatever you want, whatever you need, I'll be right here, babe. Baby, baby, baby. There's no time for that. They head hot. You understand? Today's editorial said, ended with, by now, the Prime Minister should know that he doesn't need the services of a special reviewer to tell him that Minister Darrell Smith must go. Oh, really? Because my phone blew up just like yours at some point today. Cabinet reshuffle. Darrell Smith is the new Minister of Housing. No. I've heard on the radio some of the apologists say, no, the Prime Minister is the substantive Minister of Housing. You know that isn't true. Because let me remind you, immediately upon assumption of the role of Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley wrote a book, From Mason Hall to Whitehall. Rowley working in Whitehall. Since Mr. Manning, Madam Kamla Prasad Visesa, the Prime Minister's office has been 13 to 15 Sinclair Avenue. So if Rowley doesn't know where Whitehall, where you walk in, you think he'll find HDC to say he's minister? You can't find HDC. You don't know where you walk in. You walk in the head. You know, you should take off that cloth here around the neck and tie up your head to study it. You understand? You don't know where he's working. Playing the fool. You know, so last Thursday on Poster, somebody asked the Prime Minister about the scandal. You know the scandal, there's a scandal. And he said, I heard it Wednesday. Now, I found the reporters didn't ask, which Wednesday? Yesterday Wednesday? Day before yesterday Wednesday? Or day before yesterday Wednesday? Because this bacchanal out there a long time, you know. So I want to ask the Prime Minister tonight, in this era of the Me Too movement, is he accepting that he is on the wrong side of history tonight? I want to ask the Prime Minister, is he of the opinion that his Minister of Sport did not ask or comment on Ms. Morrow's posterior? Is it that the Prime Minister is satisfied that his Minister of Sport did not inappropriately compliment Ms. Morrow on her mode of dress, as if he was auditioning to become her stylist? Am I to assume that the Prime Minister was satisfied that his Minister of Sport is fit and proper because today he promoted him, that was a promotion, to the Ministry of Housing? Now at the Ministry of Housing, a significant amount of the people who come there or go there, they are single mothers, distressed, in great distress, I'm telling you. So I want to assume that what his boss is doing is giving him fresh meat. It is like putting cat to watch butter. You know, like putting cat to watch butter. You know, because this fella, they should banish him to Mount St. Benedict in solitary confinement where he should reflect. Not in HDC, where all the time is single mothers coming across. Because you will recall, when word came to the then Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Visesa, that then Minister Chandra Sharma, Dr. Ben Ramadhan Singh, it was alleged he had inappropriately touched the woman. She fired him immediately. She didn't even ask a question. She wanted to know. Women must be safe in the workplace or wherever. When word came to the then Prime Minister that it was alleged that then Minister Chandra Sharma probably watched the Pampalam Let's watch it. Let's watch it. What did she do? She fired him. You know. So tonight I want to ask our new Minister of Housing. Tonight I want to ask our new Minister of Housing. Did he touch it? What did I pay $150,000 for? Did he touch it? I want to know what you paid $150,000 for. You think he touched it? We want to find out. We pay for that. You understand? As women, we know them cheap man. That they come and they eat and when it's time to pay. They go in the bathroom. And you there to study whether you have money on a credit card because you need toilet hiding. That is the former Minister of Sport. You understand? He touching and chasing and we paying. You understand? You see, almost every month we are being assailed by the exploit of this former Minister of Sport. You know, it's from one thing to the other. It is okay if there are two concerning adults and the man dips his hand in his pocket. But when we have to pay for the good times, we can't pay for the man pretending. So I am saying tonight that this Prime Minister has obviously run out of options. At least he understood that the good Randy Mitchell couldn't build a house. Put himself there. But that's for another time. You understand? Because the Prime Minister too has a record. Tonight we are talking about sexual harassment in the workplace. We have a lot of women here tonight and we need to address it here tonight. The Prime Minister cannot take up Darren Smith, who watching a man and seeing the skirt and talking about it fit. Darren Smith is a stylist. So he cannot be so bold-faced to put in our Ministry of Housing and we say we're taking that. We are not taking that. We are not taking that. Women, we are not taking that. Control your daughters. He warned that if the daughters go into an office, Mr. Overfed, they're licking him out. Will you like that? Who will protect our girls? We are not taking that. And I'm telling you, the time is coming for us to march. We are going to march on this tomorrow because tonight she's there, she's sad, she's lonely, she's heartbroken because she went to work to mind her child, and a man licking lips and watch her, and because she spoke out and said, when he started to say, don't you think I'm sexy? She said no. He vexed, you know, because this fella he hot more than he's sweet. You understand? I feel this guy, when he goes in front of the mirror, he is seeing Darren Smith, he's seeing Black Panther. Something has to be wrong with this man. Something wrong with his head. You understand? So we are not taking that. Darren Smith gotta go. No more. Let him go. The rumbling is over. You're rumbling on my time, I can tell you that. So, with the cabinet beside this government, we had to work. You heard everybody before me talking about all that we had done. Right? We had to produce an interest to the people. Right? We were there working, not walking up. You understand? That's what we were there doing. You know, this government of sex lies and videotape, and he make it. Notice. So, more than ever, we need a leader with vision. We need one with a plan. We need one with compassion. One whose policies create jobs. One who gives us hope. One who will look after vulnerable women. Wherever they are, their policies will. We will ensure that women can go to work and do what they have been sent to do. Right? There must be their dodging minister up on the place. So Prime Minister Kamala Presbyterian would have fired Darren Smith. No, she did not have to wait for any urging from any Express editorial. So tonight I'm telling Dr. Rowley, if you have fired Darren Smith, we can fire you. We need to fire you. We need to get over there. You're wasting time. I'm telling you, tonight I urge you to let Kamala Presbyterian be your bridge over troubled waters. All ye that are labor and heavy laden, I assure you that in the house of the rising sun, there are many mansions. And if it were not so, this pretty-head girl from Sharpeville would have told you that it is not so. So
Tableland, you heard a plain talker. No water in she mouth. She tell you as it is. She tell you the truth. Let me hear it for that truth talker. I tell you, our leader choose the best in representation. Someone that will tell it as it is. Now I have the pleasure and the honor is mine tonight to introduce to you the next Prime Minister. Not a Prime Minister in waiting, the next Prime Minister, because Moruga Tableland going to signal the change that is to come here tonight. And I am going to work tirelessly to make sure that is a reality. And I know that the soldiers here seated tonight is going to make that a reality. Let me hear you, Moruga Tableland.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Wow. Wow. Jelly John. Moruga Tableland. Tonight I know when the roll is called up yonder, Moruga Tableland will be there. So good night. Friends and family of the UNC, good night, Moruga Tableland. How are you feeling tonight? I am so happy to see the enthusiasm, the energy, your passion for your party. I can see you are ready. You are ready to take Moruga Tableland back into government. You are ready for the return of our great party into the corridors of power. Thank you very much. Thank you. And before we get into other issues, I want to pause for a moment for us to celebrate the life of two of our great soldiers. And that is our candidate in one of the seats for Toko Santi Granny as we mourn her passing, Amelia Ram. And also a stalwart and stalwart in the Barataria seat, Mr. Vishnu Ramachandra. May their souls rest in peace as they pass into the great beyond. And in life, there is death. But in life, there is celebration. And tonight, I thank them, honor them for their contributions to Trinidad and Tobago and to a very great party. And it is very ironic that today, when we are celebrating a woman who for the first time won gold in the Commonwealth Games for Trinidad and Tobago, we congratulate her, we thank her. So as we celebrate her glory for Trinidad and Tobago, we are now seeing the minister who mashed up our tourism industry moving to be where? Chamfer into where? Ministry of Sport. But we are great people. We are resilient people, and the people of Trinidad and Tobago will forever continue to shine. Michelle, congratulations on your goal. Congratulations on the behalf of our great party and Trinidad and Tobago. So what a week it has been. What a week and happenings and going-ons and shenanigans we have seen in this past week. There are some who have said, and I know that the circus is in town. And we have to ask, who is advising the Prime Minister in town when the circus is in town? Is it Mickey Mouse? Today we saw the reshuffling of the jokers, the roamers, and the rompers. And it will change to nothing in this Mickey Mouse government under Keith Rowley. You know, it reminds me of a song by David Rudder. Perhaps we can take a few lines in. You know, they say whom the gods wish to destroy, they first make them man. And what we witnessed with that reshuffle is what the song was saying, madness. Madness. As Jillian has really graphically described what has happened in moving Darius Smith from one ministry, promoting him, and don't fool yourself, you know, they say it's not a promotion. And their friends in the media, it's a demotion. They're saying, no, no, no. You are moving from a ministry of a few $100 million to a ministry what? Billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. And what is to happen for each day that he sits in the parliament, that he sits in the government? It's an insult to every mother, to every wife, and to every daughter, and to every man, father, brother who stands by our side. It is an insult. So you can't have a halfway, you know. There's a saying, you can't be half pregnant. It's either you're pregnant or you are not. So you can't say slap him on the wrist, but you're keeping him in the government. Today, Keith Rowley has shown his total impotence. Total impotence. He has shown that he cannot take the hard decisions, and we have to ask why. Not just Kamla, not just the opposition is saying Darius Smith must go from the government, all the talk shows and newspapers, the editorials, but this Rowley is so out of touch with the reality of what is taking place on the ground. And so he keeps him there, and the question must arise, why is he protecting Darius Smith? Why is Rowley shielding and protecting Darius Smith? And I want to ask some questions tonight. I want to ask some questions. And these questions have to do with the Diego Martin Sports Complex. First of all, in that Diego Martin Sports Complex, I think the Minister of Sports was who? Darius Smith. Building this, first we were told it costing $48 million. Now I'm being told it's $140 million, and it's not finished yet. Huh? So we have to wait to see the cost overruns on that project. And then I'm told that the company that got the contract, there's a small man in that contract. Small man in the firm got the contract. And that small man played golf every day with the big man, Keith Rowley. So are they golfing partners? That's true. And that might be okay. But we know there must be processes to do things. But I am told it was something called a sole select tender. Contractor was chosen by sole select tender. Now I read the law, you know. Under the CTB rules, Central Tenders Board, you can have sole select tendering, but it must be for something that company is the only one with expertise in that area. So if you want to buy bulletproof vests, for example, you will go to look for a company that has expertise in manufacturing bulletproof vests. And indeed, most of the sole select tendering is done when we deal with national security issues. Here we have a company, selective, only company selected, first of all 40 million and 140 million. I am told, and I'm asking, is this a small man who plays golf with the Prime Minister? That's the question we need to ask. And then, you know what is the expertise of this particular company if you go up on their website? Box trains. building box trade. That is their own experience and expertise being given is $40 to $140 billion. Can it be that there has been holding goods on Rowley? Can it be that there is more in the motor than the petrol at Diego Martin Sports Complex? And of course many other things that Rowley is protecting Darren Smith. I asked those questions tonight. And I asked the Prime Minister to come out and tell us, why is he afraid? Why will he not do the right, proper, honorable, decent thing and fire Darren Smith from his government? Why? Why? What goods does he hold as the Prime Minister? And, you know, I have to ask you a question. I really have to ask you a question. Dr. Rowley last week, when they were interviewing him in the postcard, made this great statement. He said, I have full confidence in all my ministers. I have full confidence, Rowley says, in all my ministers. Do you agree with Dr. Rowley? Do you have confidence in a Minister of National Security who was before a New York court on allegations of fraud? And in the end, we are told what? Sealed. Secret deal. We don't know. Secret deal. We don't know what happened in that matter. Is Edmund Dillon a fraudster or is he not a fraudster? We cannot say, because guess what? Sealed. It's like the non-disclosure agreement that was supposed to be in Darren Smith's case. Well, Dr. Rowley has confidence. You know what's the further numbers today? I heard Rowley, sorry, how can I make that mistake? I heard MP Rodney Charles say 142. Well, I'm told it's 145 to date for the year. Do you know how many days we have in the year so far? Anybody check it? About 100 days. 145 murders. And Rowley has confidence in Edmund Dillon. Do you have confidence in Edmund Dillon? Rowley also said when he said confidence on his voice, he said, and if I don't, I will take away their portfolio. Well, he didn't. He just reshuffled and recycled. Politicians, scandal, plague your politicians. You all know the old saying, reshuffle the jokers in the pack. Tonight I said, Dr. Rowley, we have no confidence in any of your ministers. I can spend time talking about each one we can go through. But you know, we have Rohan Sinanan. We can't get a vote yet. This man's so backward or don't know what dotish. You know what he announced to get himself in the news? He said, I'm going to do an audit on the spirit. The man audited himself, the same business. He's minister of, going to run audit. Run an audit on the, what is it, TG Spirit? Run an audit. Do you have confidence in Rohan Sinanan? Do you have confidence in Faris Alwari? If the reports are correct, the Attorney General may be involved with alleged conspiracy to cover up the whole Darren Smith affair. How can we have an Attorney General who may be involved in a conspiracy to cover public misconduct and public wrongdoing? And then we could talk about the taxman himself. I noticed the Prime Minister has taken up a new kind of language of it. He always did it to talk about public. He liked to call people imp. I think he called Rodney Charles imps too, if I'm not mistaken. And Paul Barry called Barry Padarat imps too. And this man is so not hands-on with what is happening in this country. When he's told about the allegations and the calls from the opposition and from MP Barry Padaran for Darren Smith to go, you know what he said? Fix your grammar. Front page of the Express today, headline, Barry get buff. Because he was calling for the right thing. Rowley doesn't understand, he's out of touch. So you think by saying the grammar, but Barry, that fella brave, eh? By this morning he'd say, well, I have fixed my grammar, you go fix your government. Go fix your government. And up to today now, the shuffle and the reshuffle and the recycling and the cycling, of the same faces and the same scandal-plagued ministers, it is very clear that he has not fixed his government. So he says he has all this confidence in his ministers. As I say, I can go through each one. I've shared with you some of it. But at the end of the day, the buck stops with whom? With the head of the cabinet, the Prime Minister Rowley. The buck stops with him. And if he has confidence in all his ministers, we say to him tonight, we have no confidence in Pete Rowley. No confidence in Pete Rowley. And here we are now with sexual harassment. And in the Parliament today, a question was asked of the Minister of Labour, what is the government's policy for dealing with sexual harassment in the workplace and so on? End of the line of the story and the whole talk. Her answer was they have no policy. No policy with respect, but it's coming soon. 2.5 years later, everything is coming soon. I want to tell you, I am so outraged. As Jalen told you, and you know that when allegations were made of lesser evil, of lesser things, I was not afraid to take the hard decisions to call on our ministers to go. Because this is something we cannot condone. We all know, most working women know what it is like to be faced with some form of inappropriate sexual harassment in the workplace. As women, we know, working women know. As women going to educational institutions, we know. Don't hide it, me too, we know. And so something must be done about it, and it must be done now. And I want to tell you what I am doing. I am drafting a private member's bill to take to the Parliament to deal with the issue of sexual harassment in the workplace and at educational institutions. I will take it to the Parliament. Because when the Minister of Labour was asked today, that was not important, it will come. Not even law, because she promised us law 2.5 years now to deal with the labour issues in our country. Not one line has come. So I give you this assurance tonight. I will draft that bill, I will take it to Parliament, and let the government be bold-faced and shameless enough not to support law against sexual harassment. All members of my government were mandated to keep up those standards, and when they did not, I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid. I asked Rowley again, what these fellas holding on you? What Darrell Smith holding, that when everybody say move him, you just shift him. And it is worse where you've put him. Jillian said it. Many single mothers go for housing, don't they? What is going to happen? How can we trust Darrell Smith? How can any woman trust Darrell Smith to approach him? How can we do that? So tonight is a very dark day. Yes, he's moved him from sport, but then he's just shifted him up somewhere else. Numerous allegations. And these allegations against Darrell Smith are not today, you know. There have been allegations against him since he was in the corporation, the Martin Regional Corporation. We must remember Dr. Rowley replaced Amory Brown, Dr. Brown, to put Darrell Smith there as a candidate. And after that we had the romping incident in Tobago. Jillian mentioned tonight other stories, more to come in on those things. The truth will always rise up. The truth will always set you free. And those stories will come, still to come. And then we say, as Barry told you last week, they're just following the leader, follow the leader, follow the leader, follow the leader. You know all the nasty remarks Rowley has made about women in our country. Repeatedly made about women. And if it is that he's condoning this kind of behavior, as Jillian said, we have to take a stand. We have to stand together. That we're not taking this so. We are not taking this. We are not taking it. We will have to band together. We reshuffle it back with Moses. MP Ronnie Charles has dealt with that issue, so I will say no further except to say this is our minister. As Ronnie nicely put it from Sergeant Schultz, he knows nothing, he sees nothing, he hears nothing, and he does nothing. Again, follow the leader, follow the leader, follow the leader. That is Rowley. When they interviewed him last week in the postcard, I don't know about that. Lied again, you know. Because he was sitting in the parliament when MPs from the opposition put questions, and Stuart Young and I think Faris answered the questions with the allegations against Darrell Smith. He was sitting right there. That was before, okay? Before Easter. When he comes back after the Easter, after the Gulfing and so on, interviewing him at postcard last Wednesday, he said, I don't know anything about it. Okay, I'll check. When they pressed him, I'll check it out. So while he's still checking out, the Front Page Express exposed Darrell, the revelations which came on. Can we congratulate the Express and the reporters? Because if that investigative reporting wasn't done, then we would still be saying we think so, we know so, but where's the evidence that provided the evidence? What everybody knew, huh? People were saying it everywhere, Darrell this, Darrell that. The evidence came forward. So, all of that, but again, the Prime Minister never knows, he never sees, he never hears. And while all this is going on in the country, you cannot get medicine in the hospitals, you can't get medicine at the health centers, people lining up in the corridor of the San Fernando General Hospital for medical treatment. You have the schools cannot open. You have every wrong. People losing their jobs. Look, UTT staff now, they're going to let them go today. Another person said they're firing all these CPAP contractors and workers. Everywhere jobs are being lost every single day. And what is the government doing? What is their big thing for the last week and this week? Let me tell you what it was. The government is running up and down the hallways of the parliament. They're waving foreign newspaper articles about a company called Cambridge Analytica. At the last Monday night, I told you clearly, we had nothing to do with that company. The government sends this company put out ads on Facebook in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you something. That is no revelation that Facebook advertising is or was used by any political party. PNM, UNC, COP, ILP, and every political party at election times. Because you see, it's so easy to do. You who use Facebook, you know. You post something on the Facebook, you press a button marked sponsor. Look, you tell it, you know. You press a button that says sponsor, yeah? And there you have it. You're advertised on Facebook. But of course, Keith Rowley is so incompetent in his government, in every era. Now they want to say they don't know where the sponsor button is on Facebook. They had to wait for Cambridge Analytica to come to tell somebody how to advertise on Facebook. It is just distraction and confusion. So today they brought the a motion in Parliament for the AG statement on Cambridge Analytica to be referred to the JSC. I want to repeat what I said before. The UNC had absolutely nothing and nothing to do with Cambridge Analytica and SCL, whatever it is. All this then has happened in the past week. So once blows dropping on them, they're looking for distraction. So they come up with what? Cambridge Analytica. They come up to say that nobody in Trinidad could put something on Facebook. Well, I think almost everybody here, majority, you on Facebook long before me. You're on Facebook a long time. And some of you right now on Facebook streaming this meeting live. True or not true? Right now this meeting is on Facebook. And where was the Prime Minister when all of this was happening in the past few weeks? He said he was in Tobago, he was watching crab race, he was playing cricket, and he was playing golf. In fact, the man actually said, you know what? They said the occupancy in the hotel was so low, and what? I was there. I was at the Magdalena. I was there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. He said it exactly like that. He said, I was there. He said, not as a guest of the hotel, but I was there on the grounds in the golfing. So this fella golfing for the whole Easter weekend. That's his answer, to tell us what the occupancy hotel and so on. Back again, knows nothing, knows nothing about anything, and he's clearly incapable now of taking strong action. He cannot be bothered to do anything. He keeps passing the buck along. Blame Kamla, blame UNC, blame partnership, blame the police, blame the businessmen in Tobago, blame everybody. But tell you, blame Maria and Rodney. I was saying he called people, he called Barry Imps too and Rodney Impson. And I was telling him about the Minister of Finance, who is the real Imps, is taxman, Minister Imbert. Can I really say, man up, Mr. Rowley? Man up, Mr. Rowley. Face the facts. You are the most incompetent Prime Minister, leading the most incompetent government in the history of the Caribbean. This cannot continue. This cannot continue. There are several issues on crime. That is the single most important job of any government. Do you agree with that? Because I say if you're dead, then it no matter if you have road, if you have house, if you have school, if you have bridge or water or food. Crime. Murders today, 145, 100 days. You cannot walk in the streets now, you can't go anywhere. It is a scary, scary feeling. And you have this minister now, Moses, plus 2 other ministers dealing with national security. You know, I just want to share with you some of the things we did before I tell you what more we can do. Because I do believe one of the greatest challenges for our country today is the fight against crime. In June 2016, I called on the Prime Minister, let us meet to deal with anti-crime. I don't know if you'll recall that. June 2016, okay? Let's meet because the crime just continues to spiral. Then in August of that same year, I wrote again, calling for an urgent meeting to discuss the country's crime problem. In my letter, I said to the Prime Minister, the life, limb and property of every citizen is now imperiled as criminals are merciless in their rampage, even when it comes to snuffing out the lives of innocent children. I called then on Prime Minister Rowley to consider taking up the portfolio of national security because of the dismal results of his 3 ministers. Well, he had a chance again today to take it up. He's the Prime Minister. He said he chose what? Housing. And we'll have to ask why about that too. Huh? The facts will unfold. It will unfold. It will come to light. I called him, look, take it up because, you know, this is the most important ministry and the most important issue. Eventually we met in early September. At the meeting we called on the government, put more boots on the ground to deter crime, to have proper enactment of legislation already passed in Parliament, such as the DNA Act, the Electronic Monitoring Act, all of which we had passed, to bring them into force. It was only today that the DNA regulations came up for debate in the Parliament. We also called on the government to fulfill their manifesto promise to set up a joint border protection agency. Up to today, broken manifesto promise. Important at that meeting, the government agreed with us when we said that the Joint Select Committee of the Parliament on National Security should not be chaired by a government minister. It is being chaired by Hines. We said it should not be chaired by a government minister, but by an independent senator. The government agreed with us, you know. That's since 2016. Up to today, Hines remains as the minister in charge of the national security. No wonder why crime is where it is. 3 hapless ministers of national security and a hapless Minister Hines in charge of the GSC in Parliament. I met again with the Prime Minister a year after that. He agreed to provide updated answers to the questions. We met again in January. I wrote to him, urging him first to meet and so on. Well, that guy don't really want to meet me. It's not I want to meet him. But I felt in the best interest of Trinidad and Tobago, let's meet. He took my letter and he flinged it and he told Faris answered the letter. So he wrote me back. I didn't take offense at that because again, your interest is more important than mine and my pride. Your interest is greater. I said, look, let's get together and pass this anti-gang law. So he gave Faris the answer, we had back and forth, we went to Parliament, we supported it. So where is the anti-gang legislation today? When we didn't support it the first time because it was a breach and violations of serious rights, they said blood on the UNC hands. Well, whose hands? Whose hands? Whose hands? Is that blood on now when murders are 145 today? Where is the blood coming from? Our sons and daughters bleeding. And where are you? What are your plans? You've kept none of yours. this PNM led by Rowley. I give you these details, you know, to show you as the UNC, we were prepared to work with this government. But you see all of that? Done. That's finished. It's finished. I give up. I give up. We will come to you, the people. We will work hand in hand with you. We will march with you. We will take to the streets. We will take to the courts to fight this wicked, incompetent government. That is where we have to go, because they will not meet. They will not greet. They will not talk. Their whole manner of governing is one of a total dictatorship. It is their way or the no way. Their way or the highway. Well, we will not live like that. This is a democratic country, and we will not live like that. And so tonight I want to share something else with you. Because I told you we will fight them in the parliament. We will fight them outside the parliament, in the streets, on the corners. We will fight them when we have to in the courthouse as well. And I want to share this with you tonight. You remember local government, huh? Do you remember local government reform? Since 2003, PNM promising local government reform. Okay? Well, we still don't have it. When they had the last local government election, the entire platform was local government reform. Well, they still haven't done it. But today, not only have they done bad or worse, I was trying to say worse than the man in PNM, where they didn't bring local reform, when Mr. Manning and his government 3 times postponed local government elections, remember? So what this Keith Rowley government is now doing with local government is this. 2 seats are vacant. Local government seats are vacant. One in Barataria is vacant for 8 months now. 8 months, you know. And the one in Belmont East, vacant. Vacant. Because, God rest their souls, the councillors passed away. And this Rowley government, in subversion of the democracy, in subversion of the rule of law, in subversion of the constitution, have refused to call the local government elections for those 2 vacancies. Why? I am not afraid, win, lose or draw, bring it on. Bring on the elections. It is the right of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So if they will not follow the law, we will go to the court to have them follow the law. So today I send them 2 pre-action protocols letters. 2 letters. I act on behalf of, to the Attorney General, I act on behalf of 2 constituents of the Barataria district, the electoral district. They have been without a councillor for the past 8 months. And according to the law, I will not read all the provisions of the law, but hello, it's an 11-page letter. So rest assured, all the law is in this letter. All the law is in this. And we are seeking that within 7 days they must take action to have the President issue a writ of election for the Barataria seat and for the Belmont East seat. I'm saying to you, I'm not afraid, win, lose or draw, you must follow the law. Win, lose or draw, follow the law. They have failed to follow the law of Trinidad and Tobago. And so we are seeking for them a declaration, this is what we will go to court for, a declaration that a failure, which is a continuing failure of the cabinet, of the government of Trinidad and Tobago, acting, the power of the cabinet rather than the minister of the cabinet itself, their failure to inform the office of the president that the seat of the council of Barataria has been vacant and that the seat for the council of Belmont East has fallen vacant. And they have not done that within a reasonable time, and therefore that is illegal, unlawful, and unreasonable. Further, we are calling upon them to act upon this within 7 days, failing which, guess what? We will go to the Supreme Court of Trinidad and Tobago to enforce the rights of the constituents of Barataria and of Belmont East. So whilst they're playing, romping and roaming and recycling and cycling failed politicians, we will follow the law. and we will go to court to have the law enforced in Trinidad and Tobago. As I close tonight, I just want to remind you of some of the things that we promised you that we will do, how we will help to move Trinidad and Tobago forward. I don't think we can wait for our fortunes to improve from the oil and energy sector. We must take action now to diversify our country. We will continue to focus on key areas for development, including ICT, tourism, maritime industries, creative industries, and alternative renewable energy. You will recall that we identified growth goals in Southwest, Central Port of Spain, North Coast, East Tobago, Southeast, East, Southeast, here with Moruga, Rio, Mayaro, Sandy Grande, and so on. And we identified these growth goals as economic zones, so we could bring in different clusters of investments suited to the area. So for you here in Moruga Tableland, what does this mean for you? It means that this cluster we will create will be specific to the needs here and the benefits for the people of Moruga, to create jobs for the people of Moruga. And I say Moruga to Moruga Tableland, this constituency. We will intensify diversification to grow the economy outside the energy sector, and so to have a positive effect on foreign exchange earnings to create good quality jobs. We will focus on infrastructure to facilitate greater use of technology, to deepen the process of building a knowledge economy, and to ensure our people are prepared for the fourth industrial revolution. For 2 years I've been speaking of the fourth industrial revolution, which I'm saying is the only way, that is the only, or the main avenue to take our country forward, to create the jobs that you need, your families need. And you know, now I see they're advertising a conference at one of the hotels in Port of Spain. Well, guess what? The fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution. I look forward to the conference. It is not the government, it's not private sector people who are bright enough to understand that this is the way for us to go. And so we will take steps. We will take further steps into getting the digital global economy. We started it with the laptops. And listen, when you put us back in office, I will give back the children their laptops in the schools. There are several others. That fourth industrial revolution and the IT is a strategy which thrives not just on the online transactions, but it has to do with innovations and new concepts. Something called the Internet of Things, something artificial intelligence, 3D printing. The last time I spoke in a meeting up on the corridor, I talked about you can go up online, you can find a product, and you can stay home and have the right printer, and you can print it out. Then I talked about you could have the robotics, and I say you'll be standing here and you just press a button and things will happen. You know, when I left that meeting, I went to the home, the after event for refreshments. They showed me a machine stand up in the corner somewhere. You know, they say, leader, that is what you were talking about. That is a remote control vacuum cleaner. Can you believe it? So it's here already, artificial intelligence. It means that the jobs some of you may now have will become extinct. And therefore you have to be trained for the jobs of tomorrow. So whereas before you would have had someone doing the physical job of something, in the day to come in this new global age, the digital age, they don't want a man or woman doing it, it's a robot. Jobs in factories and robots, more and more robots will be doing this. We have to create the jobs. We have to train you for the jobs, because some of the jobs of today will not exist tomorrow. And that is why I totally condemn this government. As Carly told you about the education and importance, I condemn them for the closing down of the gate, the NIC, the NESC, the YTEP, all these programs we have for training our people, they have shut down those. And where is the money going? Diego Martin Sports Complex? Where is it going? Brian Ladder Stadium? Send us spending how much thousands or millions to open it? Nothing happening there, you know. Shut down, big Bram, big fancy opening, money spent, drinks flow, and what's going on there? Nothing. Not being used at all, paying money for romping, romance, paying money for paintings, so-called deceased, paying money for everything else. except the money to train the young people of our country for the jobs of tomorrow. They are so stuck on the past. There is no hope. There is no hope. I know people were prepared to give the PNM the benefit of the doubt. Give them a chance. Your chances have run out. You have failed, and you have failed miserably, Dr. Rowley. The UNC team is ready. We have a vision. We have a mission. And together we must work to move our country forward. Your party, the UNC and our loyal supporters, you continue to be subjected to those kinds of attacks. But do not get distracted and never fear, because Kamala is here. Do not fear, the UNC is here. You see, they want to get us faint, weak-hearted, to pack up and hide home. We never do that. We are strong, as I say. We will never, ever, ever give up. They do not know what it means to be a member and supporter of a great party like ours. We were born out of struggle for equal rights and justice for all. We understand that performance beats old talk every time. We know that if you work hard for what you believe in, success will come. Some people never understand how, even in opposition, we can hold meetings anywhere and everywhere in this country. And our meetings bigger and brighter than a meeting in the Prime Minister's own constituency. And you know why we can do this is because they cannot take our pride away. They cannot take our pride away. It is because of the proud history of our great party that each of us commits daily. We heard our speakers tonight committing daily to do best that they can to take Moruga Tableland back into government, to take you back into government. And they could say the worst things about me. I went to school just like them. Well, some didn't, but I went to school like many of us. And I always learned, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So they have said everything in the world about me. I think all of us here. And what they didn't say, they make up and say. And we are alive and we are strong, and we will continue to fight for justice and equality. We will never back down. You have shown that you're ready to work to help your fellow Trinbagonians. You have shown that you're ready to do what you can to build our country into a better place. Our country is stronger together. Our country is better when we work together. Do not let those who will divide us, do not let them do it, and do not let them distract you. Do not, when you see the lies, I think Jalen put it, this is now the Rowley government. Is now a government of sex, lies, and fairy tales. That's where they've reached. Do not get distracted. Do not ever fear. Do not let those who want to divide us. My friends, according to Mr. Manning, if you remember, facts are stubborn things. They are very hard to go away. I am committed, and I remain committed to our party's original vision. Always to create a better future for all our citizens, and especially for our children. I told you last time what matters most are our children. What matters most is the future for our children. And I'm telling you that was my commitment and my focus for the years I have served in public office. And that remains my commitment, because the children are our future. The children are our future. Treat them well. Treat them well. And this government has shown they have no care for women, no care for the vulnerable, but above all, they have no care for the children of Trinidad and Tobago. So let us come together, and I ask you tonight, are you ready to move with us? Are you ready to return your party to government? Are you ready for us to move forward with a plan to rescue TNT from this uncaring government? The UNC will embrace the challenges that lie ahead, because we are people-focused. We look for people-centered development. That is why when we were there, what we looked at, schools and hospitals and roads and bridges and shops, those are the things that affect you right in your heart and in your pockets. Those are the things that affect you. Those are the things that help you. Schools and hospitals, roads and bridges connect people. Infrastructure brings jobs, brings up bills. In the places where we built all those roads, land prices have gone up, businesses have gone up. Sad to say, since Rowley came into government, those businesses are closing down. Closing down. Let us work together to make Trinidad and Tobago a greater, better place. Let us return our nation to greatness. So thank you very much. I am UNC and I'm very proud. Are you UNC? Are you proud? I keep reminding you, we don't need guns. We don't need anything else. All we need is this. Raise your hand with me. With this finger, you can put a government in power and you can move a government out of power. Let us ready our party to vote them out. The most incompetent government, the most incompetent prime minister, we must vote them out of office. But before we can get that vote, before we can get that opportunity, we must make a rising, a great uprising in this country to exercise our civil rights, to demand that they call the election now. I join with Jalen and the others. I join with them to say the time has come and the time is now. This is the time for us to stand together and to march together for justice, for equality in Trinidad and Tobago. As I close, I want you to look at your screens, because I want to thank the hard-working chairman, councillors, the constituency executive, and the activists of Moruga Tableland for the tremendous job they're doing, together with the coordinator, Randy Ramadas Singh, and coordinator, Dr. Khalid. I want to thank all of you. I want you to see yourself on screen, the great work you've been doing. May God bless you, and I thank you all very much.
Should make you stronger. So my problem is like steroids. I get my doses from all kinds of sources.
Brothers and sisters, I ask you to hold on just for a few minutes. The pleasure is mine. Usually I bring the pepper, but tonight I bring you the sugar. It is a very special evening, and for the third time, we have the opportunity, the third time in a row, to celebrate with our political leader her birthday. She will celebrate her birthday in just a few days, but we thought, what greater opportunity than for the family of the United National Congress should show the love and appreciation for the best political leader and prime minister this country has ever seen. So, political leader, on behalf of our great party, all our supporters assembled here tonight, we call on Brian Mohan to lead us in wishing you through song a very, very happy birthday and God's richest blessings. As we know, as night follows day, the sun will rise again and you will usher us back into the annals of government. Thank you.
Let's join together and sing. बार बार दिन ये आए, बार बार दिल ये गाए, बार बार दिल ये आए, बार बार दिल ये गाए, तुझे हजारों साल है मेरी है आरज़ू. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to Kamla, happy birthday to you. बेकरार हो के दामन थाम लूं मैं किसका, क्या मिसाल रूह है तेरी नाम लूं जिस पे ये नजर बिक जाए, बेमिसाल जो कहलाए, तुझे हजारों साल है मेरी है आरज़ू। Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to our Kamala, happy birthday to you. DJ. Get together and feel alright. One love, one heart, and some praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. With Kamala as our leader, it will be alright. Let them all pass all their dirty remarks. There is one question I'd really love to ask. Is there a place for the hopeless sinners who has hurt on mankind just to save his own beliefs? One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart, and I will feel alright with Kamala as our leader.
Members of councils, members of the National Executive of the United National Congress, friends and supporters of the United National Congress, good night. Tonight I welcome you here in the electoral district of 5th Company and in the constituency of Moruga Tableland. Your councillor, who is presently out of the country, but I know he had done his homework and mobilized the people of 5th Company to come out here this evening. The constituency of Moruga Tableland is one of 3 constituencies that falls within the Princestown Regional Corporation. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you some of the achievement while the People's Partnership was in government under the leadership of the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, that this constituency and the other constituencies that falls within the region of Princestown benefited from. In road paving, within this region under the People's Partnership, we had 172 roads that is under the regional corporation that was paved. You all want to know how much we had since the PNM come into power? We cannot finish one single road because the allocation that we're getting, we cannot even do a complete road in a district. We had areas with recreation grounds, play parks, 21 within the region of Princestown. We had several agriculture access roads that was done under the People's Partnership government in the region of the Princestown Corporation, which a lot fall in the Moruga Tableland constituency. Today, I want to let you know, in the Princestown Corporation, we normally use, there's a heading under location 628, where we normally do these agriculture access roads. Ladies and gentlemen, this financial year, our allocation was $200,000. And you know what? The projects that we did last financial year, the contractors was not paid because they did not release the money. So when we get that $200,000 this year, we have to pay the contractors from last year. So we have not a single project to do for the farmers in the region of Princestown. But I can guarantee you, you made a mistake in the last general election, and you removed the People's Partnership from Moruga Tableland. But you know what? You realized that mistake within 1 year, and in the last local election, you give the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa the mandate at the regional corporation when we take back 2 seats in the Moruga Tableland constituency. It means that we have some hopes, because yet you all ensure that the Princeton Regional Corporation remains to be a UNC-run corporation. And with the little funding that we're getting, we are still able to do a lot of work, because you know what? Being a UNC-controlled corporation, we know how to spend money. So the little money that we get in, it have barakat. We it multiplying, and we are able to do much more than what you see in some corporation. We know the PNM will not admit that it will be one of the best run corporations, because it's a UNC-run corporation, but we will work with what we have. And you, the people of this area, have 2 very hard-working councillors, Councillor Rafi Mohammed and Councillor Joseph Lawrence, and we will work with them, and we will work with the activists, the supporters, to ensure that the Princeton Regional Corporation do its part to ensure that the Moruga Tableland constituency returns to the People's Partnership under the leadership of the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, because we know for a fact that she has the ability. She has proven herself for the last 5 years when she was Prime Minister of this country. We had seen her performance, so we don't have to wonder when she comes what she will do. She have a plan, and she had demonstrated performance before, so we know what to expect when she returns to government, ladies and gentlemen. The councillors in this area is Councillor Laurent and Councillor Rafi in this Moruga area, on this end where we have this meeting tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to assure you that the Princeton Corporation will work with every single person to make sure that the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa return as the Prime Minister of this country. The support that we have, I want to thank tonight the 2 members of Parliament who are advising us at the Regional Corporation, the MP for Princeton, Mr. Barry Pararat, the MP for Naparima, Mr. Rodney Charles, who is working together with the councillors who are advising us and who are making sure that this corporation be a corporation where you will see no corruption. You will see a corporation of delivery, a corporation of togetherness, a corporation of unity, because we will make the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa proud. Our only hope is to see the United National Congress returns to government. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a task ahead. We have to work together, and the only way we can do that, just how we support our leader, we have to support our members of Parliament, we have to support the chairman of the regional corporation, and together we aspire, together we achieve, we will return to government. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Moruga Tableland, you could do better than that. All that the chairman said is the truth. Come on, no funding for projects. Budgets is suffering. It's through the direction of this chairman, who has been a sitting councillor for 15 years. We are able to survive in this economic time. I could tell you as a sitting councillor, when my budget is called and I cannot meet the demands, how hard it is. And I'm about to bring a next councillor who will attest that surviving as a young councillor in this time, it is extremely hard. Sometimes they call and we don't know how to tell them that, hey, we are getting releases, we can't do anything. But we have the drive and the will, because we represent a party that want to serve, that we know what service to the people, because our leader taught us a mantra, serve the people, serve the people. So we don't know how to say no, but we are driven to deliver. And I'm bringing on your counselor, young like myself, Councillor Joseph Laurent. Let me hear. He's a member of the Princestown Central Lions Club. He's studying events management and he's a holder of the HSC degree. Hence, he's always safe in all his projects.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. The Honorable Political Leader of the United National Congress, Opposition Leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, SC, Members of Parliament, Senators, NATEX members, Chairman of the Princestown Regional Corporation, Chairman Gori Riptoing, Members of Council of the Princestown Regional Corporation, Members of the media, my UNC family, Moruga Tableland, good evening. 2.5 years of this PLM government, and what? What next, ladies and gentlemen? What next? Unemployment. On my walks through my electoral district, all I see is potential without opportunities. My MP, Mr. MP, where are the jobs that were promised? What are the hundreds of CPEP workers who are now jobless and whose families have children to mind? What about the Moruga port, Mr. MB? What is coming since Trinidad and Tobago became a republic? The truth surely that the promise never materialized. Now, they're telling fishermen that they are changed in the original design. Hopefully, we really get something going. Flood. 4 floods. What next? Could you imagine 4 floods and nothing done to our major water courses? 4 floods and this wicked PNM playing pick-a-pan to assist affected families who lost thousands of dollars worth of household items. 4 floods and water not flowing just like the ferry to Tobago. My brothers and sisters, water. Last year I stood on this very said stage, and there was the same water issues Councillor Michelle Benjamin stated, considering the issues that we are arising at. Imagine 2018 and we still have to beg for a steady water supply. Tonight I ask you water suppliers and even the customers as well to make sure and ask for your rebate, because you know what, it makes no sense paying for a service that you never received. 2018 and poured water is still better than Wassa water. Could you imagine? Because when it flows, it looks like cocoa tea without milk. Especially in these trying times. 2018 and my electors are challenged with no truck-bound water due to no releases of funds by this wicked PNM government to this Princestown Regional Corporation, ladies and gentlemen. Projects. 2.5 years of what? What have you done for the constituency of Moruga Tableland, Mr. MP? What have you done with the exception of fixing the Moruga Road, creating additional potholes? Closing the NEC program at the Moruga Secondary School and promising the people of John Joe in Marak water connection. Ladies and gentlemen, only promises never materialize. On another note, Mr. MP, the play park in Bastion Recreation Grounds which you are claiming, take that. The bleacher in Platinic, take that. The upgrade to the Moruga sub-office and the Moruga beach facility, take that. The box drain in Orput South Chase, Midland Chase, Nanan Chase, Harara Chase in Penal Rock Road, Ramtalia Branch Chase, Strand Estate Road in Ladul, Blachacha Chase, Edward Chase, Larafin, Lansmitter. You can take that, Mr. MP. Lighting repairs, take that. You know why? Mr. Francis, you're claiming projects that you never had any input in. A true example of a PNM failure. According to one processor in Penal Road, L for Lovell, L for Lie. Remember, Mr. MP, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. The ground is shaking and your expiration date is soon. have you done for Moruga, Mr. MP? Today I call on you, just like your Prime Minister, Mr. MP, to meet me on the pavement where performance beat over. Ladies and gentlemen, together we are moving forward with our political leader and the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Because as you can see, she has the experience, she has the political savvy, she has the vision and the plan to move this country forward. The UNC is the only alternative to this wicked PNM government. I am UNC and I'm proud. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
That is performance, ladies and gentlemen. I would just like to recognize the members of parliament that are with us this evening. MP Rodney Charles, Senator Khadija Amin, Senator Tahaka Obika, and MP Barry Padarat. Ladies and gentlemen,
I want to say thanks to the people of the constituency of Moruga Tableland who have supported me during our best years, 2020-2021. I want to extend my personal thanks to those people who would have embraced my good self and the political leader and came into this party and are still in the party. Tonight, you would have heard two of those young people. The young man who just left, Joseph Lauren, that is one of the persons who came, and him I'm proud. And Michelle, put your hands together for those two young people. My brothers and sisters, those who are walking around now will realize Moruga Tableland constituency is not an easy constituency. It is a microcosm of Trinidad and Tobago. The diversity is there in religion, in ethnicity, in everything. And we have to thank our political leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, for that vision of keeping people together. And she is going to do it. And Moruga Tableland will be back in government. My brothers and sisters, our political leader and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, she has what you call the Midas touch. Whatever she touches turns into something valuable. But the opposite of the Midas touch, they just spell the word otherwise. They say the sudden touch. Whatever that person touches is a blight, and that is the present research it, there is also the Murphy's touch. They say, you know, with Murphy's law, what is to go wrong will go wrong. But the Murphy's touch, whatever you touch turns into go viral. And I'm wondering, but you know, today, I'm not going to talk about what we did when we were in government. I mean, we were paradise. And people just believe they would have gotten more on the other side. Today they come and they say, oh God, Brother Koto, we're sorry. Tell Auntie Kamla, we want she back. We want back Kamla. We want back Kamla. My brothers and sisters, sometimes I wonder, I was sharing with young Senator Obika, someday when we went up to George Village. I say, know something about this PNM. I wonder if Trinidadians and their supporters are under what they call PSS, the political Stockholm syndrome. They beat you, they brutalize you, and then when your tongue is coming out of your head, they put a little drop of water in it and it's, oh, my savior. And that is exactly what they are doing to us in Trinidad and Tobago right now. We left a treasury full of money. They suppress it. But listen, Finance Chairman, oh, the end of this year is going to be better. So they're starving you until you're ready to die, and then they're going to let go the money and they'll say, you know, the man around the country good enough, we can come down and they give the money, and they see, we get austerity measures. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. But my brothers and sisters, you know, today I witnessed the greatest piece of political absolution. The greatest piece of political absolution. This man put on his clothes, his priest clothes, and he sanitized everybody. He promote this one here, promote the other one here. But my brothers and sisters, great is the UNC, great is Kamla Pasad Bisesa, and we are going to follow.
Vice Chair talk about the Midas touch, but in the PNM, it has something called the Darrell touch. In the United National Congress, we love our women, we embrace our women, we protect our women, we do not harass our women. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the next person I'm going to bring on the platform, he is no stranger to the region. He is well known in Trinidad and Tobago. He is well known in the Caribbean region. He's a retired county superintendent from the local government ministry. He's currently the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board. He's a director on the West Indies Cricket Board, and he is now an alderman in the Princestown Regional Corporation. Give it up for Alderman Azim Basharat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. Political Leader of the United National Congress, Mrs. Kamla Pasad Bisesa, members of NATEC, senators, members of parliament, councillors, coordinators of the Moruga Tableland constituency, Mr. Randy Ramadhan Singh and Ms. Dr. Curleen Suku. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you all to all UNC faithful to the beautiful constituency of Moruga Tableland. It is so good to see so many of you here this evening as the United National Congress continues to mobilize for its return to governance in Trinidad and Tobago. Special greetings go out to our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Pasad Bisesa, who is on our way here, I'm sure, and we all look forward to another inspirational address from the best Prime Minister this nation has ever seen. The team tonight, ladies and gentlemen, of this meeting is marrying fresh ideas with solid experience. And those two components are a winning combination which is designed to take the nation out of the status of a failed state which Trinidad and Tobago has become in the space of just 30 months. Brothers and sisters, natural talent abounds throughout the length and breadth of the land in all sports, even right here in Moruga Tableland, where participation and enthusiasm is high for football, cricket, basketball and netball. And it is a well-known fact that rural districts like Moruga, Tableland have historically over the years produced scores of sportsmen and sportswomen who have gone on to excel at the regional and international stage. So it is important for grassroots programs to be introduced with an emphasis on the community, which leads to a strengthening of communal bonds, creates profitable economic activity, ignites passion and pride, and offers an alternative lifestyle to our young people away from the love of undesirable activities. It was a platform that was created by the UNC administration under Mrs. Kamla Prasad-Bisesa, who recognized the role sport played in the development of the nation. And every effort was made to provide a platform for the young, talented young people to reach their fullest potential. The visionary leadership of the political leader, a keen tennis player herself, I understand, established a clear link between the aspirations of the youth and economic development in the short and long term. This formed an important element in the move to diversify the economy and set the stage for an alternate source of revenue for the country through sports tourism. So immediately after coming into office, the UNC launched plans to create world-class facilities to nurture talent at home, as well as to act as a magnet for overseas sports teams and individuals to train right here in Trinidad and Tobago. The investment in the construction of the tennis center in Tacarigua, the indoor cycling velodrome, and the adjacent aquatic center in Vancouver made great business sense and fulfill a need long denied by the previous political administration. But the creation of world-class facilities, which has only recently been grudgingly opened amid great fanfare, did not represent all that was done. Elite athletes, ladies and gentlemen, representing Trinidad and Tobago were recognized and provided with funds to pursue training and competition around the world, while support through sponsorship and indigenous programs enabled grassroots administrators to continue the great work of identifying and cultivating stars of the future in catchment areas long ignored. Fast forward to what has been happening since the present regime came into office. We have had the shameful spectacle where an Olympic medalist has been forced to take the sports minister to task for what can only be described as disrespect in ignoring legitimate pleas for assistance. There was also the regrettable episode where poor advice was given to the sports minister, ensuring that Trinidad and Tobago missed out on the golden opportunity to host World Cup cricket in Trinidad and Tobago later this year. But I give you the assurance tonight that when the United National Congress is returned to office not too long from now, a new day will dawn for our sport industry. Our top athletes will no longer have to air their grievances and in public or complain of victimization. We look forward to a brighter day for everyone in the nation when justice, equity and fairness will once again be introduced into the national discourse by the United National Congress under the caring, charismatic and compassionate leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad-Bisesa. Thank you very much.
You're getting a little too quiet. Moruga Tableland cannot be a quiet crowd because we feel the neglect of this PNM government. So I want you to express it. When they stand up here and we tell you what they're doing, or they shout and say we want them out. Don't just sit down. Moruga Tableland can be quiet because we're feeling it. Are they feeling it? How many youths is having this crowd are jobless? Are they not feeling it? Who have water in the tank over? They're not feeling it? Wonder what kind of booklets the teacher is sending. Are they not feeling it? But we have to get them out. So we have to show them this going live. We have to show them we don't want them. So make noise. This is a massive crowd. Let them know that we don't want them. Tonight, I just want to acknowledge we have Dr. Daphne Phillip here with us. We have Dr. Rai Ravir, who is a member of NATEX. We have Chairman Henry Awong, and we have Senator Hayes that joined us shortly. So, Moruga Tableland, welcome these four houses. It is my pleasure to introduce the next speaker. I had the opportunity to work with Ms. Dr. Carleen Suku. Her list of credentials is as long as from Rochard Douglas to Kanhai. I'm telling you, a well-qualified person, our leader only chooses the best to serve. Dr. Colleen Suko is a former advisor in the Ministry of Gender, Youth and Child Development, as well as advisor in the Ministry of National Diversity and Social Integration. Both ministries were formed under the UNC government, something the PNM never did. Dr. Colleen Suko is appointed an ambassador in the United Nations at large. She is also a member of NATEX, and she is working here with us in Moruga Tableland to get this seat back to the United National Congress, where we will return Kamala Prasad-Bisesa as the next leader.
The opposition or political leader, the Honorable Kamala Prasad-Bisesa, and all the members of the UNC family and friends. Let me hear you. Thank you, members of the constituency of Moruga Tableland, for being here in your numbers tonight. Are you UNC and proud? Of the largest constituency by way of its geographical space, 684 square miles. I acknowledge members from the community of Blood Road, from Tableland, from Gulchan Trace, Laloon, Sulchan, Brashame, St. Mary's Village, and all of Moruga. Suku, and I'm presently the research officer. I have worked and have been acquainted with the Moruga Tableland and have worked with the former MP Clifton Dikoto as a technical advisor in 2012. I have worked with most of you over the years, and it has been a pleasure. I've been appointed as one of the coordinators to work with and for the people of Moruga Tableland. Before I proceed further, I want to thank the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, and could we say the next Prime Minister, our political leader, Kamala Prasad-Bisesa, for this wonderful opportunity. In your presence here, in your numbers, is a testimony of the stewardship of the wonderful and hardworking councillors and aldermen and activists. Can we give it up for them? Serving well. Can somebody lift their hands? Come on. Let me ask you a question. Has the PNM failed you miserably in Moruga Tableland? Has the UNC been good to you? The UNC is the alternative government that is ready to rescue the country at a moment's notice. Could I hear shouting for victory for the United Nations? Socially empowered, prosperous nation. Moruga Tableland can bring together the love that this country needs, the love that exists between our African and Indian brothers and sisters of all colors of the rainbow. The UNC is the alternative government and stands ready to rescue the country at a moment's notice and embraces all right. All the landslip capital. There were approximately 253 landslips. There was a baby landslip. There was a mother landslip. There was a father landslip. There was an uncle landslip. There was a family of landslips. The former PNM administration allowed the whole family to go through. But let me take you back a little bit to memory lane under the People's Partnership. Those slippages were under control. The UNC-led administration stabilized 93 of those landslips. 93 of those landslips were repaired. Could somebody give it up for the United National Congress? My brothers and sisters, when you stabilize a landslip, you concentrate on paving roads. Doesn't that make sense? That is what the UNC did, and they continue to do. You are aware of the deterioration of Moruga Tableland? That didn't take place overnight. Thanks to the vindictive PNM administration. But your PP administration, your UNC administration assured you that as a government, we are here and we are working for you. We continue to care for the people. So I ask you again, has the PNM failed you miserably in Moruga Tableland? Has the UNC been good to you? My brothers and sisters, education is the key. When we educate we children, we educate the nation. Ain't it so? I say to you that the political leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessor, has the experience, has the political savvy, has the vision, has the plan to make this country a knowledge-driven first world nation. My brothers and sisters, the UNC didn't only build schools, stabilize landslips. The UNC built centers in Marak, Hindustan, refurbished Laloon. The UNC built the Moruga police what? What they built? And when I give you the signal, I want you to say lights. Everybody say lights. I say lights. Out of 18 grounds in 2010, 9 was illuminated. So here you're going now. Marak have, Laloon have, Pinarok have, Gomez Trace have, Mandingo have, St. Croix have, Punjab have, Bakawe have. My brothers and sisters, in the constituency, we had, according to NAMDEFCO statistics, we have 205 qualified farms. I want only to tell the country, who is the pineapple capital of Trinidad and Tobago? Who is the food basket of this nation? And watch me. As your coordinator tonight, I bring a messenger of hope to you. I say to you, you have been bitten by the PNM once, you have been bitten twice, you have been loved by the UNC and treated as a community. Today I say we will win. Say we will win. Say we will win. Say we will win. Say we will win.
That is the power, that is the performance, and that is the intelligence that we have in the United National Congress. Are you fed up of Faris Al-Rawi? Are you fed up of Stuart Young? Are you fed up of Darrell Smith? Are you fed up of Keith Rowley? So are we ready for Kamla Persad-Bissessor to be Prime Minister again? she chooses the brightest of the bright. And the next person that I'm going to bring on the microphone, if I have to read out his CV for you, it will take all night. So I'd just like to highlight a few of his accolades. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Physics. He has a Master's of Philosophy in Medical Physics and Bioengineering. He's a PhD student in Energy Studies. He's an international consultant on renewable energy. He was the former head of physics and worked for the Queen of England. But now he is here to work for our Queen, Kamala Prasad Bisesa. Give it up for Randy Ramadan Singh.
Good afternoon all, good evening. Honourable Political Leader of the United National Congress, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, SCMP, UNC family and friends. Good evening, Moruga Tableland. I am so happy to see you here in your numbers. All this past week from walkabouts in Cats Hill, breaking the borders of the glorious pineapple fields of George Village, across into Tableland, down into Lengua, traversing Indian Walk, down into the lush hills and valleys of Barrackpore, moving south into the Penal Rock Road, and continuing through the lush forests and plains of Moruga, stopping at La Lune, La Ruffin and Marak. The sun has shone brilliantly as the soldiers of the UNC have been on the ground. The sun shone so brilliantly, it was almost as if heralding a new beginning for this area. It was so bright that we almost forgot the dark days after September 2015, when the lights were dimmed on us, when panic and anguish, hurt and despair ran through this beautiful and bountiful area. You see, we knew then, as we are sure now, that the beginning of the end had come to pass. The bitter harvest had begun. We knew then that crime would start to escalate, that children may very well go hungry, jobs would be lost, gates would be limited, and essential health and education deprived from us. But what we know is that our leaders did not abandon us. We know that our Member of Parliament, Clifton Dekoto, stood with us, stood strong with us, and was there for us. We also knew that our political leader, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, stood by us, guiding, counseling, leading, and continuing the fight. And our hope was renewed again when the local government election came around in 2016. Despite this area being punished by a lack of resources, despite the agents of negativity and derision, we came together. We beat the PNM in the Moruga district. Councillor Joseph Loran. We beat them in Fifth Company. Councillor Rafi Mohammed. And we beat them in Hindustan St. Mary's with Councillor Michelle Benjamin, taking the seats and claiming the Princeton Regional Corporation under the excellent Chairman Gauri Rupnarayan here. That is the strength of our people, and that is the strength of Moruga Tableland. You see, our leader has said to us, go out there, meet the people, speak to the people, and serve the people. And only one leader in our land could have held 3 portfolios at the same time. First female Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Chairman of the CARICOM, and Chairman of the Commonwealth, all at the same time. And that is the leadership that we have in the United National Congress. It is undeniable that our leaders' stellar performances in Parliament have recently been nothing short of outstanding. In Parliament recently, her budget response, tens of thousands of people were locked on as she demolished the PNM. Braving floods herself, she went to every single area affected, personally delivering food and water, clothes to the vulnerable, and chose the people, not the morning shows. You see, for her, a child to go to bed hungry and thirsty on a wet bed or floor was unacceptable. She activated a disaster response plan, and every single councillor, MP, senator, activist was on the ground in Barrackpore, was on the ground in Penal, say national, and when we say Congress, the only person in this country who has the vision, the intelligence, and the qualifications to lead this country back to where we before is the Honorable Governor Prasad Bisesa. Soldiers of the United National Congress, tonight the political leader is sounding the battle call. She will lead the troops once more for a brighter tomorrow. And what we do now, we arm you with the knowledge, with the years of experience and the bright sparks of new ideas. We arm you with the tools of compassion, integrity and generosity. We arm you with the promise that with hope and unity that we will once more make Moruga Tableland the brightest beacon on the southern seaboard, with the coastal breezes funneling the flames of our mobilization on the ground, and the hunger and hurt of this PNM government lighting a fire in our bellies for a common cause to ensure a better tomorrow for all of us, with our leader, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. As we charge forward together, with our leader at the helm, with our generals squaring the lines, and with our soldiers prepared to face with the task of reclaiming our seat and our country, we will recall Blake's Jerusalem. Bring me my bow of burning gold. Bring me my arrows of desire. Bring me my spear. Oh, clouds unfold. Bring me my chariot of fire. I will not cease from mental fight, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built the UNC stronghold in Moruga Tableland, free and pleasant land. Thank you.
Tableland, I told you, we have foot soldiers on the ground committed, people committed to returning this seat to the United National Congress under the leadership of Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Let me hear it for these people that you have just heard, these soldiers that have committed to fighting for this seat, along with the executive of Moruga Tableland. We are here working for you, tirelessly, sleeplessly, night after night. We are on the road because we know that it's only under the UNC that we will see a brighter day. I have the honor of introducing another such strong foot soldier. This foot soldier is an MP that cares, an MP that shows up when you call, an MP that fights in Parliament day after day, raising concerns even for Moruga Tableland, taking it to Lovell. That man that loved the song of his name. I remember Lovell. But Lovell, I know that we are what that no more. That Lovell, as Comfort Joe say, that L stand for liar. We know that, and MP Charles tells him that on a daily basis, constantly in Parliament. Let me hear you for this brilliant man. No, I'm not going to read out his CV because we will be here all night. Let me hear it for MP Rodney Charles.
Our esteemed political leader who will take us to victory come 2020. Constituents of Moruga Tableland, Naparima I must call them, and Princess Town. All UNC supporters gathered under the clear crystal skies of Moruga in Trinidad and Tobago. Today, the people of Moruga Tableland, and indeed all of Trinidad and Tobago, are witnessing the worst government ever we have had in the history of our country. This Keith Rowley-led version of the PNM, because this is not a real PNM, this Keith Rowley version of the PNM can boast of nothing but pain and more pain. They are, amen lady, they are failed. failures in providing inter-island sea transport, failures in fixing landslides in Moruga, Tableland, and in Naparima, failure to hold ministers accountable for major indiscretions, perhaps the worst we have experienced in our country. Failure to provide a compelling action plan to take our country forward. Failure, brothers and sisters, to keep the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago safe. Our country is experiencing unimaginable levels of criminality, and this government continues to ignore the cries of the citizens. This government allows criminals free rein to abuse our country and the hard-working, law-abiding citizens. Imagine, our murder rate to date is 142 and climbing. They have continued to fail in protecting our national image abroad under the guidance of our Prime Minister's friend. And who is his friend? The Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, who is unaware about decisions taking place in his own ministry. He is like General Sergeant Schultz in a TV program long ago. Sergeant Schultz used to hear nothing, he used to see nothing, he used to do nothing. Minister Moses is in charge, and we embarrass ourselves at the OAS on the Dominicans' request for a waiver of fees. And all Moses could say was, I wasn't there. Nobody told me. I don't know. And today, ladies and gentlemen, Rowley shuffled the pack of jokers and kept his good friend, Dennis Moses. Everybody goes, but his partner, Moses, stays. Clearly, Rowley has not heard about the principle of collective responsibility or ministerial responsibility, which under the Westminster system we inherited means that a minister is responsible for everything that goes on in his ministry. The buck stops with Moses and Keith Rowley, and for Keith Rowley to keep him shows clearly that Rowley only understands pavement diplomacy and not good parliamentary practice. Today also, Moses got up in Parliament and said that after the Dominican crisis, he spoke on the phone to his colleague in Dominica and apologized. Well, poor Moses. He does not know that at this level, what is required is a diplomatic note, not a phone call. For heaven's sake, we're not talking about a parlor or a roti shop. We're talking about the government of the people, the proud people of Trinidad and Tobago and of Moruga, Tableland. But Rowley is demeaning the office. He did not see it fit to attend 3 annual General Assemblies of the United Nations. 2015, 2016, 2017. No doubt he will miss it this year. Unlike our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who had the vision and the intelligence and the strength to interact frontally with her peers globally. Unlike Rowley, our leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, was globally respected in the international arena. I saw her in action at the UN, and as a little boy from South Trinidad, I was proud of my Prime Minister, Kamla Persad-Bissessar. And Dr. Rowley has the goal to tell me that I cannot speak to Marine Le Pen while I was at the UN. This not too bright Keith Rowley can never understand global diplomacy. You see, he's a geologist. He studied the ages of rocks. He needs to abide by the rock of ages. He is a practitioner of pavement diplomacy. So President Trump is carded to speak with President of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. According to the Rowley doctrine of diplomacy, they should never speak because you only speak to people you like. So in the company of 17 other UN ambassadors, I challenged Ms. Le Pen on her views on Islamophobia, on immigration, on ultranationalism, sitting in New York and talking to the lady and trying to put sense in her head. I serve my country and my people by so doing, and I will do it again, Rowley or no Rowley. Important global organizations such as the EU, that's the European Union, and the OECD have placed Trinidad on their blacklist based on reviews done after September 15. Look at it, we on blacklist all over the world. They don't want to deal with us. And Faris Alwari gets up in Parliament and says, you know why you're on the blacklist? Because the PP government did nothing. Well, that is not true. That is not true, because the period of review was in 2016 and 2017, and who was in power? Dr. Rowley. Who was not in power? Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Now, the EU wrote us last year, and the EU told us to give them a letter of commitment that we will, a high-level commitment that we will abide by their concerns. You know that we did not write the letter. They wrote us, they wrote Grenada, they wrote Barbados, they wrote Trinidad and Tobago, and they say, give us a high-level commitment that you will abide by or you'll take steps to deal with our concerns. Barbados wrote, Grenada wrote, but clueless Faris Alwari did not, and we remain today blacklisted by the EU and the OECD. The only areas of competence by this Keith Rowley administration are old talk, long-winded, nice-sounding sales talk, and blaming the PP government. Not hard work and performance. I will say it again. Under the PNM, the only growth industries are funeral homes and crime, criminals. Funeral homes and crime. So what are the priorities of clueless Moses? Why is this strategic direction? Where is this strategic direction that he was supposed to give to the ministry? Why, for example, set up an embassy in the United Arab Emirates when Guyana is on our doorsteps, on the verge of an oil boom that has never been witnessed in CARICOM or countries in this region, 500,000 barrels a day, and we do not have an embassy in Guyana? Why close down our embassy in Uganda, close to Ethiopia, Jah Rastafari, seat of the African Union, representing 54 countries? What policies are in place to deal with the reputed 40,000 Venezuelan refugees in our country? What is the status of the immigration detention center where you're housing these people? What policies are in place to combat human trafficking of Venezuelans in Trinidad? We have Venezuelans being treated like dogs under this government and being made to stay in inhuman conditions. We, all of us, will pay a price long after Rowley demits office for the inhuman treatment meted out of Venezuelans. But what is the purpose of our Coast Guard in Cedros? If you visit Cedros, you see a base. Is that base for decoration? We have our fishermen and offshore workers fearful for their lives. And the only advice the Coast Guard could do is we can't do nothing. This should be a national security priority. How, for heaven's sake, can Venezuelan naval vessels enter our waters and our Coast Guard so frightened that they know we're wrong? Could we ever enter Venezuelan waters, even if we're chasing Venezuelans? So where's the Coast Guard? What are they doing? So Moses will lead us to the promised land of global excellence. The Prime Minister's defense. Protect Moses. Blame staff. Attack me. Come up with some unsigned, unconfirmed minutes. Does the Prime Minister not know that unsigned note written by someone is not evidence? There are no policies in place to make sense of what is taking place in our country. And here it is quote in the Bible. It is Exodus 6:12. And I'm reading, but Lord, Moses objected. My own people won't listen to me. How can I expect Pharaoh to listen? I am such a clumsy speaker. That is what he said. Ladies and gentlemen, let us pause. We are in the presence of greatness. We are in the presence of our leader. We are in the presence of... We are in the presence of our leader. Can you feel it in the air? You feel it in the firmament. Greatness is coming to us. First female Prime Minister. First female Attorney General. The first representative of South Trinidad to lead us to greatness. A leader who believed in giving us laptops and making us computer literate. She, ladies and gentlemen, will rescue us from the trials and tribulations of this rowdy-led administration. So let's enjoy our leader. Our great leader, we cannot wait for you to come back into power to rescue us from trials and tribulations. But I've given you a quote from the Bible, and this is Moses talking. He said, but Lord, Moses objected, my own people wouldn't listen to me anymore. How can I expect Pharaoh to listen? I am such a clumsy speaker. Does that not sound like the Moses we know? So, ladies and gentlemen, the question of ministerial responsibility, I spoke about it, but in that that concept